to jump in. Slams it down.
Fairfield, high off the ground.
Shakes free of a defense and put that is right there. Only for 4. That's what we've been waiting for all.
Some gathers and connects.
He is clutch.
Taking matters into his own.
Run again. Monzon going all the way in for 2.
Who attacks, gets the foul.
Loco with a fake, gets the basket and 1. For the win! Oh! One more time. Alley for 4. Oh, that's a 4. Again by the black shirt and another 4. Angat ang laban, ha?
Hello mga ka-PBA! Muli kaming nagbabalik dito sa Ilocos Sur makalipas lamang ang 4 na buwan. Pero ngayon, hatid namin ang mas pinainit na aksyon sa pagitan ng NorthPort Batang Pier kontra Magnolia Hotshots. Siguradong magyayanig ang Candon City Arena sa bakbakang ito. So tignan natin sino sa dalawang kupunan ang magwawagi.
We take you all the way up to Ilocos Sur at the Candona City Arena for your PBA Season 49 Philippine Cup here on Pilipinas Live and on a PBA Rush. 2 teams eager to get back on the winning track. The NorthPort Batang Pier face-off against the Magnolia Hotshots reignite in Candon. Who will catch fire here today? But we'll find out soon enough. Paulo de Rosario alongside Coach Jude Roque on the call here for you. And Coach, great to be working with you again. At alam mo, let's take a look back on what happened last time around here because Magnolia finally lost a game. And of course, itong NorthPort 5-game losing streak, both of them just eager for a win again.
That's right, Paulo. Magnolia, like you said, absorbed their very first loss in this tournament. They're still on top of the standings alongside NLEX. And NorthPort, on the other hand, is on a 5-game losing streak, and definitely they'd want to stop that skid.
Ito last game, the Magnolia Hotshots, they faced off against what was honestly one of the hottest shooting nights I've ever seen from the Rain and Shine Last of Painters, where all of the players in the Rain and Shine roster hit a 3-pointer, Coach.
That's correct. Rain or Shine really shot well from the outside. As you can see, that big disparity in 3-point field goals. 48% versus under 27% for Magnolia. And what's quite surprising in that game is that Magnolia usually is known for their defense. No, they're averaging, they're allowing just 93.4 points per game to their opponents. But in that game, it was a high-scoring game set from the very start, and they gave up 119 points to Rain or Shine. So that's a bit odd on the part of Magnolia.
That is a bit odd, Coach, but let's talk about something that's not odd for the Magnolia Hotshots, and that is Zave Lucero's consistency this conference. The other stars may have been up and down in terms of their production, but take a look at this guy, Coach. Over 54% in terms of his field goal percentage at 17.9 points per game.
Very impressive is Xavier Lucero in this conference. He's been the most consistent player. Even against Rain or Shine, he was the top scorer for the team with 17 points. He also added 6 rebounds and 3 blocks.
Let's take a look at the last game from NorthPort Batang Pier, a heavy-handed loss against the Verge Fiber Xers. Again, just taking a look at that matchup, Coach, the rebounding battle and the second chance points, they were dominated in the paint.
Yes, definitely. That's, again, a big disparity as they were badly out-rebounded by the Converge Fiber Xers. That's a minus 24 in rebounding for NorthPort, and that's been their biggest problem in that game.
Well, you know what, Coach? We have to talk about Joshua Monzon here because despite the struggles of NorthPort Batang Pier, here's a guy who we all looked at as a defensive specialist here, but he has evolved this game, it feels like, to another level, back to the days wherein, remember when he got drafted the first time that he could be an explosive scorer, but then he became a defensive specialist in PBA? Now it feels like his offense is starting to round up as well, despite the poor field goal percentage.
We're seeing his true potential right now. No, he's stepped up really big in the absence of their usual top scorer, Arvin Tolentino. And now, versus Converts, he showed that he had 23 points. And to add to that, he also had 6 rebounds and 6 assists. And of course, it's really his leadership that is carrying this team. Although they badly need to address this losing skid, and Joshua definitely will once again be expected to lead their charge.
There's going to be a lot of expectations for Joshua Monzon. Gio Halalon on your screen there as well, who is starting to see more and more minutes here for Coach Bonnie Tan. But then with the likes of Paul Lee, who has been hot and cold this conference. When he's hot, he is scorching. And let us see who will start here today. And of course, the opening ceremonies here in the Candon City Arena. We'll be right back as we bring you to the floor.
Candon City Arena for the continuation of the PBA 49th season Philippine Cup. Our game for this evening features the Magnolia Hotshots versus the NorthPort Batang Pier. And this PBA Saturday provincial game is presented by Arena Plus. Oras na para makilala natin ang mga players ng magkabilang koponan kasama ang kabataan ng Candon City. First up, let us meet the players from the Magnolia Hotshots. Number 2, Jarek Ahanmisi. Number 3, Paul Lee. Number 4, Rafi Rivas. Number 10, Ian Sangalak. Number 14, Mark Barroca. Number 17, Peter Alfaro. Number 19, Rome De La Rosa. Number 22, Xavier Lucero. Number 23, Joseph Eriobu. Number 30, Jerome Lastimosa. Number 42, James Laput. Number 57, Aris Jonicio. Number 65, Jed Mendoza. Number 73, Calvin Abueva. And number 88, Russell Escoto. Together with their teammate, Jeric Balanza. At oras na para makilala natin ang mga players ng kabilang koponan. Kasama pa rin ang kabataan ng Candon City, the NorthPort Batang Pier. Number 0, Paulo Taha. Number 1, Sidney Onwumpere. Number 3, Fred Yu. Number 4, Agent Miranda. Number 5, Alin Bulanadi. Number 15, James Quecote. Number 20, Evan Nelly. Number 22, Kate Flores. Number 23, William Navarro. Number 24, Joshua Monzon. Number 27, Ivan Nava. Number 28, Gio Halalon. And number 37, Dami Guntapay. At para magbigay ng mensahe para sa mga taga Candon City, tawagin natin muna sa Magnolia Chicken Templados Hotshots, Mark Barroca.
Magandang gabi, Candon City. Maraming salamat sa pag-invite dito sa amin, especially kay Mayor Eric Singson and Ma'am Cristel, Vice Mayor. Thank you sa pag-invite sa PBA dito, and mag-enjoy po tayo. Supportan po natin PBA lagi. God bless po.
Maraming salamat, Mark Barroca. At para magbigay naman ng mensahe mula sa NorthPort Batang Pier, please welcome Dami Guntapay.
Ano yung pagkarabi, Candon City, agyaman na kanyayo amin nga agboy dito, especially kada Mayor Eric Singson, Vice Mayor Cristel Singson. Thank you po sa inyo, and yun, enjoy lang natin yung game ngayong gabi, and God bless sa ating lahat. Thank you!
Maraming salamat, Dami Guntapay. And let us now meet the starters. First, for the Magnolia Chicken Templados Hotshots. Point guard from Dumaguete City, number 30, Jerome Lastimosa. Shooting guard from Zamboanga City, number 14, Mark Baroca. Small forward from Bustos, Bulacan, number 57, Eris Junicio. Power forward from San Carlos, Pangasinan, number 22, Xavier Lucero. And at center from Lubao, Pampanga, number 10, Ian Sangalang. Coaching the Hotshots is Chito Victorero. It is now time to meet the starters for the NorthPort Batang Pier. Point guard from Cagayan de Oro City, number 28, Gio Halalon. Shooting guard from Davao City, number 5, Alin Bulanedi. Small forward from Bacolor, Pampanga, number 24, Joshua Monzon. Power forward from Imus City, Cavite, number 1, Sydney Onwubere. And at center from Talisay, Batangas, number 23, William Navarro. Coaching the Batang Pier is Bonitad. And before we begin this game, we would like to call on and set record the following. PBA Commissioner Willie Marshall, the Mayor of Candon City, the Honorable Eric Singson, the Vice Mayor of Candon City, the Honorable Attorney Cristel Singson, Team Manager of the Magnolia Chicken Templados Hotshots, Mr. Alvin Patrimonio, and Team Manager of the NorthPort Batang Pier, Mr. Pido Harencio, for the ceremonial toss. Maraming salamat po. Game officials are Romel Gruta, Jerry Lerandan, Brian Queco,
Reignite in Candon. Two teams desperate for a win for completely different reasons. As you take a look at the stars here for Coach Chito Victorero, Jerome Lastimosa, and Mark Baroca leading backcourt. On the other end, Gio Halalon and William Navarro will lead the charge alongside Joshua Monzon. For Coach Bonitan for the NorthPort Batang Pier. Mel Gruta will lead our officials here today. Coming at you from Ilocos Sur in the Candon City Arena. Maimbag Arabii to everyone watching us here in the PBA on Pilipinas Live and on PBA Rush. I'm Paulo De Rosario alongside Coach Jude Roque. Coach, it feels like this is going to be dictated by which team can control the pace. You have a Magnolia team who is very comfortable at scoring in the half court, operating and executing with a longer shot clock, while this NorthPort Batang Pier team is so content at running the floor, running the ball. One of the best teams in terms of fast breaks, the best team in terms of converting turnover points, and that has to be key here as they force a turnover. And almost on cue, William Navarro unable to get that to go, but will go to line and shoot too.
Yes, the Batang Pier are most dangerous when they're running, especially that they don't really have legitimate big men in the team. So you can see sometimes Will Navarro plays the 4 position, and that makes them the quicker team. On the other hand, Magnolia is so good in rebounding, so it's going to be a real challenge for Batang Pier.
William Navarro there on your screen. He's going to have to play big. He had 20 points and 9 rebounds and near double-double in that loss. But Coach, they are lacking a certain Arvin Tolentino, who is not playing for NorthPort at the moment. And William Navarro has done his best to try and fill in that big gap.
He is very capable, However, William is not the type of pure scorer.
Yeah.
He does a lot of things for the team. He can definitely score, but unlike Arvin Tolentino, who is a pure scorer, he does more for the team in terms of defense, rebounding, and clearly you can see the Batang Pier are trying to step on the gas. They're trying to really use their quickness against Magnolia.
Again, it's a question of who can dictate the pace in this one. As we all know, as we mentioned a while ago, this NorthPort Batang Pier team, one of the best running teams in the league. But then in terms of forcing turnovers, going to have a hard time here, coach. Just smack dab in the middle, though, are the Magnolia Hotshots. So relative to the field, rather, they actually do take care of the ball at a standard level here.
Magnolia, like you mentioned earlier, is the more deliberate squad between the two. And yes, they take care of the ball much better than most teams here in the PBA.
And you know, just to bring back what you mentioned a while ago, as William Navarro gets his first field goal here, making a 4-point game. The NorthPort Batang Pier are going to go against a Magnolia team who, quite frankly, coach, was a bit embarrassed on the defensive end in their last game against the Reina Shanalasta Painters.
Very embarrassed. They allowed 119 points to Rain or Shine. That's really very high in terms of their standards, knowing them as one of the top defensive teams in the league. And you can expect them to be really aggressive defensively here, even as NorthPort already has 7 points on the board to start this game.
Almost a turnover there as Joshua Monzon trying to pick the pocket of Jerome Lastimosa. Ceremonial hitting a three-pointer a while ago. Here's Ian Sangala. Ian, he loves going to his left. Will go and get the foul off the inbound, though. Arsenio Olivere taking offense to that call. Doesn't feel like he did anything.
That is a big advantage for Magnolia when they go to the post, especially with Ian Sangalang, because he's one of the best post players in the league. So it's gonna be a decision for NorthPort if they have to double early on Ian.
Oh, Jerome Lastimosa trying to snake his way through, but that time NorthPort come away with this one. Here's Joshua Munzon. Senor Umber hit 1-3 a while ago. Nadi on the move. Gio Holalo unable to keep possession. Forces the shot up and miss as Magnolia will go the other way. Now, it's interesting to note that Magnolia are actually one of the worst teams in terms of starter points. They have one of the best benches by far. They have they're number one at 67 points per game on average. Compare that to Rain or Shine, who was number 2, who's at 50. They have a plus 17 advantage when it comes to the bench scoring. Talking about Magnolia.
But they do sometimes mix their starters, but the 5 on the floor right now are really good offensive players, especially with Jerome Lastimosa starting at point guard.
And that's just a veteran move coming from Mark Baroka. It was a hopeful lift, a hopeful floater. And all he wanted to do was make sure that he goes in line to shoot too. And that's something that NorthPort are going to try to relearn here, because for a very long time, their offense was predicated on the fact that a certain Arvin Tolentino can attract so much fouls. As we take a look at the numbers here from Mark Baroka against Rain or Shine, 50% from the field, 10 points in the second quarter in what was arguably their best quarter in that game, but was unable to really contribute after that.
Steady numbers for him, 15 points, 3 assists. However, the red mark on his game was the 4 turnovers.
Well, we all know that Mark Baroka will look at his numbers as honestly as possible and say that, yeah, he needs to do better.
Especially when Paul Lee is struggling on offense, he definitely needs to step up. And Jerome too.
Of course, Paul Lee will be coming off the bench today. Onmubere has 1-3, can't make it 2. Gio Halalon gets the offensive rebound but throws it away to Aras Junicio. Here's Jerome Lastimosa. He was running and was fouled by Bulnadi.
Well, 2 offensive rebounds already for NorthPort. That's a good sign, especially against a strong rebounding team in Magnolia.
Yeah, just taking a look at the rebounding here, Coach. Magnolia number 5 in the league so far, averaging around 49 rebounds per game. But NorthPort are at number 10, 44.83 rebounds per game. So quite a big gap there. Let's take a look at this again, and as the referees will have a look at that again from Bulanadi.
Oh.
So it's going to be a take foul there. They didn't really play the ball.
That's correct. That's the reason why they're calling a transition take. Because actually there was a defender ahead already. However, Bulanadi was not going for the ball. So he just bumped Jerome Lastimosa. And so the decision was a transition take foul, which means free throws and ball possession.
Lastimosa making it count.
Just one free throw and ball possession.
The lonely fans making themselves heard in Candon City. Jerome Lastimosa, in and out dribble. Sidney Onmubere right in front of him. In Sangalang asking for it, taking his time here. Jerome Lastimosa kicking that out to Mark Baroka. Baroka back to Jerome. Great challenge from Sidney Onmubere. And they are running the other way. Gio Lalo sprinting. And that is Joshua Munzon, who couldn't finish, but William Navarro's there to clean it up. And Body's still on the floor.
And that's the third offensive rebound for NorthPort. They're really trying to make up for that terrible rebounding performance last time against Converge.
Well, they do lack the size, but definitely do not lack the bodies on the rebounding front. Here's Mark Baroka, faking out his old teammate Gio Halalon. Gets that to fall with the friendly roll.
Good move by Mark Baroka. Halalon overcommitting right there, and Mark Baroka just too smart. And he converts on this floater plus the contact.
Now Mark Baroka, such a wily veteran here. Able to keep Magnolia within touching distance. 7:34 left here in quarter number 1. NorthPort have been showing us flashes of the speed that kills that they have. As they go to the corner, Bulanadi unable to get that to go. Here's Jerome Lastimosa. Now that is Janicio. Mark Baroka up top. Baroka gets free and shoots over Sidney Onmubere. Mark Baroka, once he starts heating up, coach, people forget that this guy could be one of the most lethal scorers on the floor, especially when he's in the mood.
And he also read the defense so well. He knew where the open space is, and that's an easy basket for Mark, that medium range jump shot.
William Navarro showcasing his strength there, scoring on Zabe Lucero. And that was a steal, and let's see if they're going to take a look at this one. Yes, they will take a look at it. So Zabe Lucero losing out to William Navarro in that sequence, and Navarro was trying to get away. Question is, when did the foul occur? Was he after the ball? Questions our referees will have to ask, because I would not dare guess, coach. Let's take a look at that again.
So this is the aggressive pressure defense of William Navarro, and he stole the ball.
So it's going to be an intentional take foul.
It was actually very similar to the one that NorthPort gave up earlier, bumping Jerome Lastimosa.
The difference here, it will be 2 because it was such a clear path.
Yes, correct.
And ball possession. So NorthPort doing all the right things, but don't look now, because alongside Kwekpete coming in for the NorthPort Batang Pier, Paul Lee has now entered the playing field here for the Magnolia Hotshots. Now he's a guy that if he gets in rhythm, he could be unstoppable. We just saw that a couple of games ago. As Gio Alalon unmolested. What's happening to the defensive sequence of Magnolia? Coach Chito Victorero not happy. And I am sure his team will get an earful after that sequence in particular. Let's take a look at that again. Coach Jerome Lastimosa will allow the backdoor cut here.
Jerome Lastimosa lost his man right there. That was read well by Gio Halalon. Went backdoor, and there was just nobody helping out from the weak side.
15-9 in favor of NorthPort Batang Pier nearing the halfway point of the first. We'll be right back.
Get access and watch your favorite sporting events on Pilipinas Live with these easy steps. Download via Google Play or App Store. Once downloaded, enter a valid email address. Verify the OTP sent to your email address. Note that the OTP is valid for 5 minutes and for one-time use only. If no OTP is received, you may click on the Resend OTP button. Once successful, create and enter your password. Accept the terms and conditions to complete your registration. You can now log on to Pilipinas Live. Subscribe now for only 149 pesos monthly.
You know what I love about Filipinas Live? I can watch me. Filipinas.
Still live here in Candon City, Ilocos Sur. You're still watching the PBA Philippine Cup. In that first loss of the Magnolia Chicken Templados Hotshots, that sure did hurt the team. But according to Coach Chito Victolero, they've had way worse. It's just one loss para sa kanila, and they've had way worse in their previous conferences. Pero if there's one thing they realized in their previous game, yun daw ay ang importansya ng preparation at execution. Coach said they knew what their opponents were going to do, however, hindi lang daw sila naka-execute ng maayos. Now, coming to this match, Magnolia will make sure to keep everything in check on both ends. Unang-una, malimit ang NorthPort to just 90 points, at pangalawa, i-improve ang shot selection nila to have over 45% field goal percentage. Gentlemen,
Maraming salamat. That was Hans Go as Paul Lee hits a triple deep in the corner. That's exactly what we were talking about, Coach. If Paul Lee finds groove, finds rhythm, he could make a big difference. But Kwekwe, just too quick there. But back on the report of Hans, keeping NorthPort below 90 points, very important for Coach Tito Victolero. Basically re-establishing yung defensive identity ng Magnolia Chicken Templados Hotshots. Here's Paul Lee. Take a look, Kwekwe, not allowing Lee any space. Naman si Mark Baroka on the attack. Lay-in no good. 5-point lead for NorthPort Batang Pier as they try to go on the run again. William Navarro hits the deck. Ran into Paul Lee there. And here's Paul. Paul Lee. Great feed inside to save Rosero. But that will be a blocking foul. And Onlubere is saying, was I not set?
Well, great play right there as Lucero cut to the basket hard. And that was a great pass coming from Baroka. And Onobere was really inside the no charge zone. And he was called for the foul there.
5-point lead here for the NorthPort Batang Pier. Zabe Lucero trying to shoot a couple. Coach, we have to talk about Zabe Lucero because the way that he has improved his game as Calvin Abueva checks in for the first time today, as well as Kay De Flores. Coach, Zabe Lucero, a lot of people are wondering, okay, this is the guy expected to be the future of the Magnolia franchise. It feels like he's been becoming the next face of Magnolia. Is he the face already of the franchise for you?
I think so. The way he's performing right now, first of all, he's the top scorer of the team so far this conference. Very consistent with his numbers. And he's also doing a lot of things. But he's got really such a great potential being 6'7" that can play the 3 position. So that's really a big advantage for him.
Paul Lee with a long bomb a while ago, but it does not fall. A bit of a heat check after that great triple he hit from the corner a while ago. Alfaro, here's Calvin Abueva thinking about it. Here's Zabe Lucero in the corner and said, short shot clock, he's gotta go when he scores.
So effective when he drives strong to the basket. He's just so long and has got great balance while on the air.
Kwekwe misses out there. 2 blue shirts on the floor. Rather up in the air and 1 on the floor. Loose ball foul. Zabe Lucero.
Excellent effort.
Foul will be on Gio Halalon.
I thought the refs signaled foul on Magnolia, but apparently they called the foul on Gio Alalon off that rebound play. He came from behind and bumped, saved Lucero.
But Calvin Abueva will be the one taking the free throws here. His first contribution to this game is a missed free throw. As Fran Yu will check in here for Gio Alalon. Again, Fran Yu, I remember back in the PBA on tour days, lighting it up for the NorthPort Batang Pier, impressing the management and eventually getting drafted by the franchise, and has been a good piece here for Coach Bonitan.
He's just been a little inconsistent in this tournament, but he's had better conferences for NorthPort. Steady point guard. That time he miscalculated the forward pass to Kwekute, resulting to a turnover.
You know, we always talk about how NorthPort want to play very quick, but then there is a level of control you need to have when you play with a lot of speed. At that time, I think it's safe to say that turnover, no real control.
You need to be smart. You can't just be fast. You have to be smart. You have to be disciplined. I remember Coach Chot Reyes a long time ago, he said something about disciplined intensity. So you can be intense, but you have to be disciplined. Oh, was that an elbow from Holly?
Well, according to the referee, it was an offensive foul because he held on to Joshua Monzon, at least for his angle. Either way, it was NorthPort ball, and the miss and another foul means free throws here for the Magnolia Hotshots.
NorthPort already in penalty, and they have to really, like I said earlier, be a bit more disciplined on both ends. So earlier they committed some turnovers of a fast break, and then now they're being over-aggressive defensively.
Well, you know what, Coach? The NorthPort Batang Pier and Magnolia Hotshots are both in the bottom three of teams in terms of fouls allowed. They both give up a lot of fouls to their opponents, and that can mean free throws might play a more important role in this game. But at the moment, we go to a quick break. 4:02 left in quarter number 1, 18-17 in favor of Magnolia. We're still at Candon City Arena. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
You know what I love about Filipinas Live?
The 49th season of the PBA Philippine Cup. In the past games of the NorthPort Batang Pier, Coach Bonitan mentioned the defensive end has really been a struggle for the team. To add to this, coming from an import-laden conference, maraming roles that were left out open and the team is continuously adjusting to it. Despite dito, the coaches still remain to be positive that they can come out stronger. He said, importante ang mindset at dapat ini-instill na nila that they actually have a chance to win. And in order to give a good competition, they all want to start to have good defense as they go up against a defensive team in Magnolia. Gentlemen,
thank you so much for that report. That was Hans Cole. As of course, again, I think if you're talking about the roles here, you're having a lot of players rediscover certain roles or adjusting certain roles. Again, no Arvin Tolentino. They came from an import-laden conference, as mentioned a while ago. And the likes of this guy, Joshua Munzon and William Navarro, trying to take charge here of this group and still coming to grips with that, Coach.
Well, that time Joshua Monzon a little bit tried to do everything by himself and lost the ball. Again, I'll go back to what I said earlier before the break. The lack of discipline. They started this game really well. They were up for most of the time until they started fouling, and now Magnolia was able to get the driver's seat and add to that the three-point basket coming from Calvin Abueva.
Calvin Abueva getting his three-point basket to go. Better ball movement here. Joshua Monzon open for a second and does not get a friendly roll.
But like you said, that was better ball movement. They need to have better shots, no, like that one made by Joshua Monson, although he missed, but that was a clear shot, as opposed to trying to rush everything and then turning the ball over. Against Magnolia, you can't rush things because they are such a great defensive team.
You're absolutely right, Coach. And the thing with the NorthPort Batang Pier is that they are actually one of the best assist-giving teams. As Alfaro gets a 4-pointer to fall.
Peter Alfaro is really beginning to be one of the better shooters in this team, especially from the 4-point range.
Magnolia are the best 4-point shooting team in the league. As Franyu gets 3 to go to answer back the 4. But this is a sentence I can only say in the PBA, Coach. You can't trade 4 for 3s all the time.
Well, that's right. It's not easy making a 4-point shot. As you look at that distance, that's really quite far, no? So you don't want to take a lot of those shots because that's a very low percentage shot. But earlier, you saw a much better play coming from NorthPort, a wide open 3-point shot for Franyu, who is, by the way, also a deadly shooter from downtown.
Deadly shooter. We've seen that in his relatively young career. Alim Bulanari set to inbound here for the NorthPort Batang Pier. Franyu up top. Quecate. Calvin Abueva gets the switch. Will go to line to shoot 2. James Quecate coming in from the Blackwater franchise is also one of those guys who, once he finds that consistency in terms of scoring, will be one of the most potent weapons here for NorthPort Batang Pier. We've seen flashes of that all throughout his time with the Blackwater. Bossing has yet to really find that gear this time around. Take a look at that, 66% from the field last time against Converge.
12 points against Converge. He only shot 6 attempts. I think he should be taking more shots, maybe at least 10 attempts per game. He's a capable scorer. He's a big guard, you know, very strong, athletic guard. He just needs to be a little more confident, perhaps, you know, with this game. And when he gets to that level, I think he can do more for NorthPort.
Yeah, again, as a scoring guard, he has that ability to really score in bunches at times.
Well, when he was in Blackwater, of course, he played alongside Bearfield, who is the top scorer in the team. Here in NorthPort, there are also several really good scorers among the guards. But I think he fits well because, first of all, he is probably the biggest guard in this team. And he's young and athletic.
Yeah, he could definitely have a two-way role here with the NorthPort Batang Pier. Boldy. Alfaro, he'll try another 4. Oh, he gets a second one. 8 points from beyond 2 arcs for Alfaro.
Alfaro, very deadly. He's been really practicing hard those outside shots. 3 points, 4 points. You can't leave him wide open anymore.
Take a look at this again. Alfaro asking us to change his name to Alforo.
That's really good, Pao.
Abueva finding him again. And boy, oh boy, let's see if he'll have a heat check moment really soon. I don't think he's even going to go near the 3-point line. Oh, here he is on the attack. And that's going to be a stepping violation against Rome De La Rosa.
I wonder if they even had one practice in this gym. I mean, it's not easy going to a new gym and be perfect, no, from the 4-point line.
Kasi you have to get familiar with the rim. As Franyu, not yet quite familiar with that rim. Simeon Mubere getting the foul there from Escoto, who has been seeing an increase of his minutes here lately this conference.
Escoto is a great role player. He works hard. He's pretty good height. However, that was a very good move on the part of Sydney Onwobero, who's got guard skills no, against a pure big man in Escoto. And he used his quickness and dribbling ability to get the foul from Escoto.
Onwubere gets the 2 free throws to fall. Lead still 29-23. And we have a quick turnover here. Looks like Alfaro lost it due to the pressure from Fran Yu. Great defensive sequence from NorthPort.
NorthPort really aggressive to start this game. A lot of pressure defense, but they gotta watch it because they're already in penalty.
Kwekute pulls up. Can't get that one to go. Cabanueva tips it to Rom De La Rosa. Almost a turnover. Good thing Alfaro was there. Take a look at that. They are defending Alfaro wherever he is past the halfway point. Cabanueva, what about it? Instead, can't get the friendly roll. Sydney Onwubere will draw the foul from Alfaro from the rebound attempt.
And that will give 2 free throws again to Sydney Onwubere. Again, that was off a rebound play. The ref signaled that Peter pulled Sydney.
And Sydney Onwubere having drained 2 free throws in the last possession for the NorthPort Batang Pier. Will try to add 2 more. Gets the first, courtesy of a friendly roll at the front rim.
Alfaro also with 2 personals already in this game.
29-24. 40.1 left here. Jerome Lastimosa checks back into the game as Alfaro will take a much-deserved rest there. And this Magnolia team has embraced the 4-point line. They are the team that has taken the second most amount of 4-point shots. Second only to the Maralco Bolts, who has attempted 44 this conference. Magnolia right now stands at 38. Ooh, and that was a crunching screen there. Rom De La Rosa trying to take advantage, gets the friendly roll, and will shoot the bonus.
Using his upper body strength there, getting it closer to the basket, a little bit of spin move, and getting the contact there from James Kwekute.
There it is. That is the gym at work, coach. Just keeping that strength, using that upper body. And now trying to get a point here to up the lead back to 7. This could be the final offensive possession, depending on how NorthPort play this one in the last 24 seconds with shot clock off.
It's a high-scoring game to start.
And you know what? If the goal of Magnolia is to limit NorthPort to only 90 points, well, there has to be a bit of a tightening up in terms of their defense here. And that is a near turnover. NorthPort will still have the ball here, 32-25, with 2.1 left here in the first quarter. And Coach Chito Victorero and his staff asking, where was the touch? Either way, Joshua Munzon checking in here. As Cade Flores will check out. Another shooter here for NorthPort Batang Pier. They find Joshua Munzon. He has to go right at the face, and he drains it.
Wow, that was well challenged by De La Rosa, but he still made it.
And Joshua Munzon getting that to fall. And you can see the buzzer, you can see the replay. That's good. And NorthPort trim the deficit by 2, courtesy of that late stab coming from Joshua Munzon. 32-27. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
You know what I love about Philly?
think most of it is just leaving that in the past and making sure that one loss doesn't turn into two. And we got a chance to right this ship now. So just going back to our brand of basketball, moving the ball on offense, sticking to what we do on defense, and we should be fine.
I think what stood out was when Zay Lucero said, sticking to what we do on defense and really keeping to their brand of basketball. Coach, Magnolia are known to be a defensive team. They struggled last time against the Rangers and lost the Painters. And I think by their very high standards, they did score 32 points in that first quarter. But 25 points may be too much for their liking against the NorthPort Batang Pier.
It is too much considering how they try to limit their opponents to under 95 points per game. However, it's also quite expected because NorthPort is really an up-tempo team. And to start the game that way, it's not quite easy to slow down an up-tempo team. But as we go along, that should be an easier defensive challenge for Magnolia.
Here's Joshua Munzon. Looking at Save Lucero. Munzon misses out as Rom De La Rosa gets the rebound.
That was a forced shot because you don't want to shoot over Save Lucero with still some time on the clock.
Jerome Simosa driving. Right to De La Rosa. Relocates, can get the 3 ball. Brand new. Really quick possession here for the NorthPort Batang Pier, but that's their style. They like shooting early. As Paul Lee can't get the pass. That's another turnover here. Sloppy play for both teams here to start out the second quarter. As Kate Flores almost traveled, got that triple down importantly, scoring, and Coach Chito Victorella sues for time. He did not like the first minute and 20 seconds of this second quarter. Take a look at this again. Kate Flores almost traveled. Bam! Got the dribble. And scoring 2. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
You know what I love about Filipinas Live?
Let's take a look at Cade Flores. 14 points, 8 rebounds, and 4 steals for the NorthPort Batang Pier against Converge Piper Xers. Coach, what I love about Cade Flores' game is that he gives so much effort. He's so physical, and he is such a force on the rebounding end despite being a bit undersized for his position, Coach.
And he also steps up big whenever the team needs him. Remember, during his first conference in the PBA, he was one of their top performers, and his performance somehow dipped a little bit as Arvin Tolentino really rose to be the best scorer in the team. But now you saw a glimpse of what Kate Flores can do, not just in scoring but also in rebounding.
Well, off the timeout, Coach, they tried to go straight to Ian Sanggalang, but he was unable to score. Joshua Munzon. And Kate Flores inside, back to Munzon. He'll try a triple, and Joshua Munzon couldn't get it. Estimosa pitching it forward. Rom De La Rosa almost lost it. And Ian Sanggalang left unmolested underneath. Ups the lead yet again.
And Magnolia will always look at Ian Sanggalang as a first option, so you don't really leave him close to the basket alone.
Now we are following Ian Sanggalang against Sydney Onrubere, 34-29. The count here. Let's take a look at this again. Ian Sanggalang, who has had a muted influence on this game so far, Coach. Has yet to really get going. And this is a game that you feel that maybe Insangalang could take more advantage of, considering the lack of big men of the NorthPort Batang Pier.
That is correct. I actually expected them to go to him more. They tried to in the first quarter. Remember, he was able to get a foul on the post. But after that, the defense of NorthPort focused a little bit inside, no, allowing more outside shots to Magnolia.
Here's Jerome Lastimosa. Mark Baroka. Swing that around. Rome de la Rosa attacking the closeout. And again, sloppy play here from Magnolia in terms of turnovers. And stop, pop, jumper is good.
Another transition basket this time for NorthPort. That's off a turnover by Magnolia.
Here's Jerome Lastimosa. Rome de la Rosa back to Mark Baroka. Mark Baroka finds the Insangalang. Baroka can't stroke home three. And Sangalang plays it back. Jerome Lastimosa relocates 4-3. Gets in a fall.
Well, what a move using a step back, no, for Jerome Lastimosa and converting a 3-ball.
Ongubere on the move. Evanelli. Felt a bit of contact. Whistle did not blow. We go the other way. Here's Mark Baroka. Surveying the field, finds Rome de la Rosa wide open in the corner. Splash home three, cue the timeout. NorthPort Batang Pier sends the momentum. It's all with Magnolia. Mark Baroka, quick survey at the field, wide open. Rome de la Rosa, splash home three. And Magnolia lead by 8. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
You know what I love about Filipinas Live?
Players and officials, our reunion won't be complete without you. Save the date. We are inviting you to join us on our PBA at 50 Grand Reunion on October 5, 2025. You may call 0968-447-1975 or 0968-253-5050 or email us at admin@pba.ph for details. Again, that was Commissioner William Marshall. Obviously, special thanks to our friends in the local government unit for Candon City, Mayor Eric Singson and Vice Mayor Cristel Singson. Magnolia still in charge here.
I was gonna say a really nice coliseum that they have in Candon, which is the reason why I think this is the third time that the PBA is playing an official game there.
Also fantastic venue, Coach. It has played host to PBL games. It has played host to, of course, the PBA. And really, one of the better venues here that we've seen. Here's Mark Baroka. Dami Contapay making his appearance, an Ilocano. Very proud to represent NorthPort here. As the ball was tapped up to Joshua Munzon. Fast break here for NorthPort Batang Pier. Getting two blue shirts to bite on the fake. William Navarro scoring two.
Smart play by Will Navarro using a couple of shot fakes before converting. So again, some turnover points here for NorthPort. There's another one right there.
Best team at converting turnover points. But as always, when the commentator says something, the opposite happens.
But that was great transition defense by Save Lucero. Never easy to drive against him.
Save Lucero couldn't get the friendly bounce, but Insangalang is there. And the ball will go the other way. And Insangalang is like, nope.
asking for a challenge from the coach. And he's quite sure, the way he's signaling that he didn't touch the ball last.
And Coach Chito Victorero trusting Ian Sangalang will issue the challenge here. And I don't know a lot of people who have gone through this dynamic, coach, or at least naging co-analyst ko dito in the broadcast. What is the feeling when a coach trusts a player to say that, hey, challenge score, pero sobrang mali pala? Like, I want to know what conversations are right after those moments.
It's really difficult because you want to trust your players. Oh, it was successful.
There you go. Let's take a look at that again. Ball will stay with the Hotshots. As there it is, a tap from behind there coming from Evanelli.
So going back, it's quite tough for a coach, not to somehow give in to a request like that, especially when you see your player being very convinced.
Yeah.
However, you have to also make some decisions if it's the right time, because you only have one, and if successful, you only have two at most. And sometimes it could matter in the end game. No, so if it's too early, maybe you can just tell your players it's okay. Let's let this one go and just save it for a better time.
Well, just a while ago, we saw frustrated Mark Baroka after the turnover. Here's Joshua Munzon. Take a look at that last sequence and that foul there from Mark Baroka. William Navarro. Zay Bucero. That is a tough defensive sequence there. Zay Bucero is such a long defender.
And a bad play right there, because there was really very limited movement of the post.
Alfaro missing from 3. I think he's still perfect from 4, coach. He should just take 4.
Yes.
Evanelli. Tapay with the fake. Gio Halalon. Picking everyone up. Oh, unable to get that to go though. William Navarro, offensive rebound. Kicking that out to Monzon, looking for 4. Not that time. As Mark Baroka running the break. Slows things down. Puts Gio on his hip. Finding Alfaro, will go to the line and shoot 2.
And he was fouled by his good friend Dami Contapa. Of course, they were former teammates in San Beda, but that was also a great cut through the baseline by Peter Alfaro. He was bumped. Wow, 9 points already for Peter.
9 points of 2 field goals made. Dahil sa dalawang 4-pointer. As Alfaro now in double-digit scoring.
And of course, his kababayan, Mark Baroka, was the one who issued the pass to him.
11 points so far for Alfaro, 41-33. And Gio Halalon there, Gio Halalon fouled by Mark Baroka. A couple of fouls from Mark Baroka, something to watch out for here if that develops.
But you can see the aggressiveness now of the defense of Magnolia. Probably they got some tongue lashing from Coach Chito Victorero because of that 25-point output of NorthPort in the first quarter. So now it's a bit more of a defensive game that we're seeing.
Dami Contapa, he has that range that time. Hard off the back rim.
And you can see the tight interior defense of Magnolia as NorthPort is reduced to an outside shooting team in the last few possessions here.
Jen Mendoza in the game, by the way, after what was a good cameo role in their last loss against Rain or Shine. Evanelli. Halalon hangs up in the air, scores 2 and 1.
Again, very deadly in transition are the NorthPort Batang Pier. Great spacing there. Great passing between these two guards and a great finish by Gio Halalon.
Substitutions.
Look at that from Gio Halalo, former Magnolia Hotshot. And Paul Lee comes back in alongside Calvin Abueva. That's how deep the Magnolia bench is. They have the scoring talent of a Paul Lee, the energy of a Calvin Abueva. And we haven't even talked about Ahan Misi, who, to be quite honest, Coach, is one of the best 4-point shooters the league has had, considering its short history.
And you mentioned earlier about Magnolia being one of the lowest scoring output from their starters. Or this is the reason why, because like you said, they're very deep. They have a lot of really good players stepping up, and so the scoring is more balanced, with Magnolia.
Calvin Abueva holding on to his face as the whistle was blown. Looks like he was swiped as he corralled the rebound. Ball popped up. Looks like Joshua Munobi whistled for it. 30-second timeout here as Calvin Abueva doesn't look any worse for wear, so we'll hold on to the air here, Coach. But then, yeah, we were talking about pace a while ago, and we're seeing the difference here between these two, at least what they're trying to produce. And this game has been controlled by Magnolia. As we take a look at the remaining games here for the conference, a big one against the Barangay Ginebra San Miguel happening on June 1. That's a Sunday at the Smart Araneta Coliseum. And of course, we gotta watch out for that one because Barangay Ginebra have had a mixed bag of conference as well. A loss there could really make the pathway to any potential finals appearance for Ginebra a bit more difficult. And at the same time, Magnolia can't afford any slip-ups, especially here today.
So that's right. And after Ginebra, they are set to face NLEX. And right now, Magnolia and NLEX are both tied at the top with 6 wins and just 1 loss.
Arguably the hottest team in the PBA today, talking about the NLEX Road Warriors.
6 straight wins for NLEX after losing that first game to San Miguel Beer.
And that time, 2 players, same ball, no one gets it. 41-36 here. 4:42 left here in the second quarter.
Well, the action is really picking up, even when the scoring-wise, the percentages have gone down. But you can see both are becoming more physical defensively. They're pressuring the ball a lot of contacts on the rebound play. There you can see that's a perfect example. A lob pass to Will Navarro, and Zave Lucero coming from the free throw line. He went all the way down to try to swipe that ball away. So that's the kind of aggressive defense that we're seeing from both teams.
Here's Alfaro. Amisi pitching that forward. Amisi. Paul Lee. Ball movement here. Alfaro thought about it. Look at the corner here. Alfaro, that's a long 3. Able to get that to go. And that will be a foul against NorthPort Batang Pier. Zave Lucero was pushed on that rebounding attempt, according to the referees.
Well, they gotta locate Zave Lucero because he's very active on the floor, going for offensive boards. He's got this natural leaping ability, plus he's very long. So if that's the case, you gotta locate him and you have to put a body on him so he doesn't really get close to the basket to grab those offensive boards.
Alfaro on Misi. Misi wants 3, can't get 3. And the shooting has not really fallen here for the Magnolia Hotshots from beyond the arc, as Gio Halalo scores 2, inch a bit closer.
Magnolia continues to struggle with their transition defense. How many times have we seen Gio Halalo drive to the basket and score off a layup? So they gotta do something about that.
Here's Paul Lee. Alfaro. And Paul Lee asking Alfaro to just shoot it. He had space. And he has yet to miss from 4, as Halalo scored 2 in the previous possession. Short shot clock. He's got to go. Paul Lee aware of it. And that'll be a loose ball foul against the Magnolia Hotshots. But NorthPort, coach, starts to feel a bit of the rhythm here. They are disruptive enough that Magnolia may be overthinking their possessions here.
Very impressive defense by NorthPort. As you said, they've been very disruptive, very active, and they continue to score in transition. So this is gonna upset Coach Chito Victolero. They're doing a great job on the half-court defense, but in transition, they're really allowing a lot of those drives.
Forcing it inside, Zabe Lucero couldn't finish. NorthPort a chance to take the lead here. Gio Halalo drives inside, he wants to, and he will get it.
And that's the third straight time he scores off a drive. Magnolia hasn't found a solution to that problem.
Shooting hasn't been there for Magnolia. Inside around. Paul Lee. 9-0 run here for NorthPort. Alfaro. Hopping inside to Zabe Lucero. Lucero mercifully ends the drought.
That was what they were really looking for against the zone of NorthPort, to really bring that ball to the big man inside. And finally, they found Zabe Lucero there.
Let's take a look at this again. Alfaro. Great in and out as Zabe Lucero will get the reward courtesy of his great footwork. Vanelli. 1 point lead just here for Magnolia. And that'll be a foul as they go inside. It'll be a side out, I believe. No penalty situation rather here for Magnolia, so NorthPort will have 2 free throws. William Navarro, though, if there is a chink in his armor, it has unfortunately been free throws. But because as a commentator I said that, he'll probably make this. There you go.
Ringless pa.
Yeah, because William Navarro is a 60% shooter from the free throw line. That has been his Achilles heel. But again, because I've mentioned it, malamang pasok to.
Let's see if he'll make back-to-back. Yes.
Again, 60%. He has shot, prior to that, 26 out of 43 from the free throw line this conference. Aseri Yobu, another turnover, and NorthPort extend their lead, and it has been a nightmare quarter here for Coach Chito Victolero.
Well, that time they used a 2-2-1 zone press and was able to get a steal. However, this time, Magnolia was able to break through that 2-2-1 zone press, and Eriobu just scores on a bucket plus a foul.
Well, he felt like he had to make up from the previous play, and there he is doing just that.
Also, excellent pass coming from Zabe Lucero. This is what we're talking about, Zabe. That was it Zabe or Paul Lee?
I've been Paul Lee, coach, but
probably Paul Lee.
Here's Eriobu, unable to get that one. The ball falls kindly for Kwekpete. 1 point lead here in NorthPort Batang Pier. 11 turnovers from Magnolia, and NorthPort have been running. We talk about dictating the pace, and right now the game feels quick, and that suits NorthPort.
It does suit NorthPort. They scored a lot in transition, especially in this quarter. Ooh.
That'll be a charge against William Navarro. Paul Lee, or rather Mark Baroka, very much willing to take the charges, to establish himself, sacrifice his body. We've seen that all throughout his career, and yet he looks so young.
He does look so young. Although that time, Will Navarro did not have to use a shot fake against, a smaller defender, and that shot fake resulted to the offensive foul.
And Magnolia regained the lead here against NorthPort Batang Pier. 1:13 left to play here in the second quarter. What can NorthPort do? Kwekpete. That's a 4 from Onwubere.
Wow.
Well, Sidney Onwubere, surprise, surprise, has stroked the ball well from beyond the arcs here. Magnolia 23-12 in terms of perimeter points, and what a block, what a turnover here for the NorthPort Batang Pier as Gio Halalo almost loses it. to his old teammate Mark Baroka. On Mubere to Fran Yu. Fran Yu attacking Ariobu. Ariobu hits the deck. Fran Yu left open. Gives it to Gio Halalon. He wants 3 and he gets it.
Wow. So that's a 7-point swing for NorthPort. A 4-point shot from Onwabera, followed by that 3-point shot from Gio.
Magnolia have struggled to defend, not just today, but in the previous game as well. Jerome Lastimosa answers back with 4 of his own.
Big shot by Jerome Lastimosa that time.
32nd time uncalled here by NorthPort Batang Pier. Still a 2-point lead for the NorthPort Batang Pier. As the 4-point ball has fallen kindly here today. I want to check the record books to see what's the most amount of 4-pointers made in a single game. Because this may be a candidate of that, considering how many 4s you've seen so far.
That should be very interesting. This was the pass by Mark Baroka to Jerome Lastimosa for that 4-point shot. And that was such a big shot because for the past 3 possessions, Magnolia came out empty. But finally, Jerome was able to hit that 4-point shot. And this was the earlier 4-point shot of Sydney Onwabere. Oh, this was the 3 of Gio Halalon. Before that 3 was the 4-point shot of Sydney.
Well, let's see what they do here. Talking about NorthPort, they've had the flair for the dramatic here. Mark Baroka just checking Gio Halalon.
Former teammates, yes. In Magnolia, they had been the backcourt duo for Magnolia for a few conferences.
Joshua Munzon, he's got to go. He pulls up. And that time, really no space. But NorthPort Batang Pier, what a late boost here as we hit the halftime break. 53-51 in favor of the NorthPort Batang Pier at the halftime break. We got a good one for you folks coming from Candon City in Ilocos Sur. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
You know what I love about
Pilipinas Live is the home of Philippine volleyball. Watch your favorite volleyball leagues such as Spikers Turf, Premier Volleyball League, and the UAAP, all in one app. You can watch all these games and more live and on your preferred device. Download Pilipinas Live today from the App Store or Google Play Store and register for free.
How much do we love Pinoy sports? As a fan, we don't just watch the games.
This season for me, and I just owe it all to the work I put in.
We watch every part, every angle, every name. We talk about the plays, talk about it for days. We witness the big events, the thrilling moments, and relive the best seconds. We cherish the fears, the tears, at syempre, the cheers. How much do we love Pinoy sports? With all our heart, all-out passion. All the time. All with Pilipinas Live. Ang app natin para sa sports natin.
Get access and watch your favorite sporting events on Pilipinas Live with these easy steps. Download via Google Play or App Store. Once downloaded, enter a valid
Tutok pa rin kayo sa 49th season of the PBA Philippine Cup at live na live kami. All the way dito sa Candon City Arena, Ilocos Sur. Kasama ko ngayon si Honorable Mayor Eric Singson. Hello Mayor, nice to see you again. Kamusta ka?
Mabuti naman.
Eto nga, Mayor, pang-apat na beses namin dito sa Ilocos Sur, sa Candon City. Huli kaming nandito nung January. What is it about the PBA na gustong-gusto ng mga fans dito sa Ilocos?
Nakikita ko talagang ang PBA gustong-gusto ng mga tao at ang kabataan, idol nila, mga players. Kaya nandyan sila nanonood at nag-enjoy ang mga tiga-Candon and of course the province of Ilocos Sur.
Speaking of idol, Mayor, balita ko, we are locking it in. Babalik kami dito, Season 50 All-Stars. Right? Gaano po ba ka-espesyal, Mayor, na ginagawa natin yung mga sporting events tulad nito dito sa bayan ng Candon?
Very special ito kasi na-inspire yung mga kabataan. At makita mo naman, puno na naman ang ating arena at nag-enjoy silang nanonood. And yun ang nagbibigay ng inspirasyon. Sa amin din na mga nagsisilbi. Kasi itong binibigay ng PBA ay nagbibigay ng kasiyahan sa mga tao dito sa aming siyudad.
Espesyal na espesyal din para sa amin dito sa PBA na muli kaming nakakabalik dito sa Ilocos Sur. And for one last time, Mayor, batiin mo naman lahat ng mga PBA fans dito sa bayan ng Candon.
Una-una ba ko babatiin mga fans natin? Gusto kong magpasalamat kay Chairman Willie Marcial for bringing PBA for the fourth time. At gusto ko rin ibalita na sabi ang usapan namin ni Chairman ay by October we will have the double header in Candon City. Ibig sabihin, 4 na teams ang maglalaro dito.
Yun, by October. Aasahan namin yan. Aasahan din yan, of course, ng mga PBA fans across the world. So there you have it. Maraming salamat, Mayor. At magkikita ulit tayo. Oh, okay, sige po.
Meron ba isa? Baka nakakalimutan ko yung pinagbilin sa akin ni Chairman. Next year will be the 50th anniversary of PBA. And we will celebrate in Candon by month of March next year. Maraming salamat, Chairman Willie Marcial.
All right. Thank you so much again, Mayor Eric Singson. Magbabalik po kami Northport kontra Magnolia.
Get access and watch your favorite sporting events on Pilipinas Live with these easy steps. Download via Google Play or App Store. Once downloaded, enter a valid email address. Verify the OTP sent to your email address. Note that the OTP is valid for 5 minutes and for one-time use only. If no OTP is received, you may click on the Resend OTP button. Once successful, create and enter your password. Accept the terms and conditions to complete your registration. You can now log on to Pilipinas Live. Subscribe now for only 149 pesos monthly.
You know what I love about Philippines?
Watch your favorite volleyball leagues such as Spikers Turf, Premier Volleyball League, and the UAAP, all in one app. You can watch all these games and more live and on your preferred device. Download Pilipinas Live today from the App Store or Google Play Store and register for free.
Okay, bibigay kay Judmar. Big handoff ngayon, Kalma sa ilalim. Ganda naman yung fake mula kay Kalma and he misses it on the back and in.
Again, the same aspect. Footwork, patience. Yun ang pinakita ni Kalma.
Dennis yung march ng bola kay Chris Banquero. Goes behind the back. Banquero on the attack. Flips it up and in to beat the buzzer.
Very smart of his move.
It has been a Chris Banquero quarter. Dr. J, you told me earlier na itong si Banquero kaya 18, 20 points per ball game.
Another double-double for him. He is a double-double machine, averaging 13 points, 13 rebounds. Oh, nice
check out
pass.
that pass. Whoa! You're talking about behind-the-back passes. That was a splendid one mula kay Joshua Monzon to Kate Flores.
Kita ang didiskarte ngayon. Tautua starts again, goes behind the back, finishes with the left. Highlight from Mo.
Beautiful move there by Mo Tautua. As if he is a small man, eluding the defense with that behind-the-back move and using his left to finish.
But certainly needs him. A fake by Onwubere. Blocked up third. Baltazar erases that. And Garcia
naman, converge. Here's stuck from the three-point shot.
bitin. Nakuha ni Garcia ulit. Pasa kay Baldi. Jam! Baseline slam from Justin Baltazar.
And running it gunning. Natural roar from the converge bench.
And exciting as well.
Ay nakakagulat doon. Si Baldi nakakuha ng block shot. Siya din na nakakuha ng dunk shot on the other end of the floor. Defense and offense. Baldi Baltazar. Marami na siyang nagagawa sa loob ng court.
Ramirez, the fast break for him. Jams at home.
Kaya pala niya yun. Ginulat ang buong Pinoy Aquino Stadium. Tsaka nag-alala mo sa ring, tsaka sa goal. Ito,
Garcia
naman. Converge. You're stuck from the three-point shot.
bitin. Nakuha ni Garcia ulit. Pasa kay Baldi. Jam! Baseline slam from Justin Baltazar.
And running it gunning. Natural roar from the Converge bench.
Biglang lamang na ng 5 ang Converge.
Uy siya ng basket.
Monzon just exhibiting quickness dito on that play. Brian gusto bumawi. No, drops it over to Baldi.
Oh, yes.
Dunk number 2 para kay Baltazar.
And that's already 10 points para sa kanya.
Double-double na siya.
Yep. The game's double digits lahat. Sila 2 leading scorers. Yun. Para dito sa
Ito na si Balungay.
You talk about his athleticism. You talk about this guy wanting to finish fast breaks. He's always running up and back.
21-18, Phoenix by 3. Jump in with the jam!
What a way to get it back. Yung kanina kasi wala si Jumpin dun sa ilalim. Ito, parang kinindatan lang niya eh. Tapos bubackdoor eh.
Sa isang kupunan na kasing hole sa inang sandigan, hindi ka talaga uubra. Both Aldoa slams it home.
And that is a picture of how bad their defense is. Tama ka. You score 83 points.
Magandang araw mga ka-PBA. Hatid namin muli ang kasiyahan at inspirasyon para sa mga kabataan ng Candon City. Makalipas ang 4 na buwan ay muli kami nagbabalik dito sa Ilocos para sa isa na namang alagang PBA.
It's always good to be able to give back to the kids, especially, coming out here, and that's the you know, the basketball side, just to be able to see them and, you know, hopefully provide them some inspiration and whatnot, that's better than anything we do on the court.
I mean, it means a lot to be, you know, anybody's inspiration, but especially the kids. I mean, they're definitely like the next generation that comes.
Hindi naman palaging ganito yung magiging experience natin. So, I'm not taking this for granted.
You know, they're going to be better than us. That's what we want. The next generation to be better than us. So it's definitely cool to have them look up to me, but it's better to have them, you know, learn and be better than me too. So it's cool.
Yung relationship ng PBA and Candon City, it's a long-term relationship. Malaking bagay para sa mga kabataan. Nakikita nila yung ang PBA ay hindi lang sa paglalaro, kundi naalagaan din mga learners. May partner rin na turuan yung mga bata na mahilig mag-basketball. Ang PBA ay ang bibigay ng inspirasyon not only in Candon City but the whole province of Ilocos Sur.
Masaya po kami na muli kaming nakabalik dito sa Candon, lalo pat yung mga kasama naming ibang teams ay first time rin dito. Pero this won't be the last, siguradong sigurado po yan. Kaya't magkita-kita tayo muli dito sa Alagang PBA.
Welcome back as we bring you our live coverage of PBA Season 49 Philippine Cup coming at you all the way from Candon, Ilocos Sur, 53-51 in favor of NorthPort Batang Pier. Taking the halftime stats, Paulo Rosario. Also, Coach Jude Roque bringing this down for you. Coach, what do you see?
Well, as expected, Northport with their transition game really working well, especially in the second quarter. We saw a really great first half. Both quarters in the first quarter, it was a high-scoring game. The defense picked up more in the second quarter, but it turned out to be a really good game as the shots went in the last few minutes of that second quarter. And of course, the inside scoring still favors Magnolia.
Peter Alfaro getting 11 points courtesy of 2 4-pointers made. William Navarro leading charge on the other end alongside Gio Halalon and Sidney Onmubere, who has shot the ball well from beyond the arc. But apart from those top 3 there for Northport, Coach, not a lot of help there. They do have the lead, but with the other cast members that they have for NorthPort Batang Pier, they need someone to help step up against a Magnolia team who has, quite frankly, Coach, struggled to defend here in the past few games.
So this second half will really be a bigger challenge for Northport. First of all, if they can sustain the aggressive defense and the quick transition offense that they did in the first half. But also because Magnolia tends to get better as the game progresses.
And it looks like we are going to have more halftime ceremonies here in Candon City in Ilocos Sur. Eric Singson, Vice Mayor Cristel Singson, present here as well.
Vice Mayor Honorable Attorney Cristel Singson, the city of Candon.
As we are having a ceremonial gift here being shared by the LGU, a replica of the BRP Sierra Madre.
The city's token to the PBA under the leadership of Commissioner Willie Marshall.
Presenting it
the
to
replica symbolizes the country's strong stance to Philippine independence, protecting external forces over the West Philippine Sea.
And of course, for those who do not understand the significance of the BRP Sierra Madre, it is the Philippine vessel that was intentionally grounded in the West Philippine Sea and used as a place to really assert the sovereignty of the Philippines in those contested waters. And a fitting gift given to Commissioner Willie Marshall coming from the LGU of Candon City. Of course, with Ilocos region being so close to the West Philippine Sea in terms of where the conflict is actually happening. As we bring you back to Candon City for more PBA action here in the second half. Magnolia against NorthPort Batang Pier, two teams coming off losses here. Very painful for Magnolia last time around. It was a painful loss for them against the Rain or Shine Elasto Painters. And of course, the NorthPort Batang Pier of 5 straight losses. Thank you so much for joining us again here on Philippines Live and on PBA Rush. 2-point lead here for NorthPort Batang Pier to start out with 53-51. Gio Halalon gets the first 2 points of the game. Coach, you know, we look at what happened in that first half. The defensive woes of Magnolia, why are they having such a hard time defending this NorthPort Batang Pier team? Why are NorthPort controlling the tempo here?
Well, first of all, NorthPort, unlike the other teams, they're more of a free-willing team. Anybody can attack at any time. They're not as deliberate as the other teams. And the defense of Magnolia is really more built against more deliberate teams, more teams with structure. Itong NorthPort, they don't have much structure. They just attack whenever they get the opportunity. And they've been successful doing that.
So it's a battle of styles, Coach.
Styles, yes.
Well, of course, at this point, we'd like to congratulate our Gilas Pilipinas Under-16 team who just wrapped up their first assignment in the FIBA Under-16 Asia Cup Siaba qualifiers. They beat Vietnam 113-62 in the head coaching debut of a certain Coach L.A. Tenorio. Congratulations to our young Gilas youth.
Very impressive start for the Batang Gilas. Of course, your father is also an assistant coach there, so congratulations.
Just all joking aside, Coach. But yes, congratulations to Emerald Nova. Gabe Norwood also part of that coaching staff as well. Of course, Coach Richard Del Rosario and Coach Al Francis Chua also part of the management team, as well as some other Gilas standouts as well. Here is Mark Baroka. And to get that to fall. And so far, the shots just not falling for Magnolia. It feels like they are playing at the pace of NorthPort.
Well, they are truly, especially in that possession. As Mark Baroka tried to do a Gio Halalon there, but just missed that easy layup.
And Gio Halalon tried to do Mark Baroka there, but missed the jumper.
Correct.
Here's Mark. Stop, pop, push shot, no good. Paul Lee with a follow.
I don't know if this is intentional on the part of Magnolia, but they seem to be also trying to score some fast breaks here.
Onwubere shot the ball well in the first half. Not quite in that attempt. Here's Joshua Munzon, left wide open there. Lucero came out, and William Navarro scoring 2 and wanted more after that little push from Zane Lucero.
Great action between Joshua Munzon and Will Navarro there. Another steal, yes.
Here's Gio Halalon to Munzon.
Very dangerous in transition. They have a lot of turnover points already in this game as a result of those steals, something they've done really well even in the first half.
Here is Zane Lucero getting 2 inside, much needed there as Magnolia still trail here by 1. Now we take a look at Magnolia here. Magnolia actually have only 9 points from turnovers compared to the 13 of NorthPort Batang Pier. Biggest lead was at 8 here for Magnolia. Lastimosa loses out to Gio Halalon. What quick hands from Gio on Mubere. Munzon tees up a 4 in transition, in and out. Second chance opportunity here for NorthPort. Gio Halalon's like, let's slow things down. Onwubere offering the pick. Feeding Onwubere inside. Onwubere, little bump, and gets the finish. Tough finish for Onwubere, who insists that Zane Lucero is flopping.
NorthPort really very aggressive in attacking the baskets, and Sydney Onwubere definitely one of the brightest spots for the team here. And on the part of Magnolia, I don't know, they've been taking some bad shots to start this third quarter, something that fuels also the transition offense of NorthPort. So I'm not sure what's going on here. It's quite uncharacteristic for Magnolia.
Uncharacteristic for Magnolia, but NorthPort are loving it, Coach. At the moment, the NorthPort Batang Pier in charge. They are running the show here in the third quarter. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
how much do we love Pinoy sports? As a fan, we don't just watch the games.
The season for me, and I just owe it all to the work I put in.
We watch every part, every angle, every name. We talk about the plays, talk about it for days. We witness the big events, the thrilling moments, and relive the best seconds. We cherish.
Ball game, gentlemen, the biggest concern in the Magnolia dugout ay ang effort. According to Coach Jason Webb, that's where the conversation revolved around. Yung effort daw. So for the second half, gusto nila to put more emphasis on the effort. And over to NorthPort naman, the coaches were satisfied with the players' first half performance and they want to sustain it for the second half. Continue that good defense, that patience on offense, and limit Magnolia's inside presence. Balik sa inyo.
Thanks so much for that report. That was Hans Go, who mentioned that the goal for NorthPort was to limit the inside presence of the Magnolia Hotshots. And just to take a look at the numbers here, just so we have a better idea. In terms of points in the paint, NorthPort are actually dominating Magnolia 34-20 in that department. So, Coach, limiting Magnolia in the interior, considering that they are the bigger team. They have an Ian Sangalang. James Laput hasn't even played. Zayn Lucero, who's as tall as their tallest player, is playing the 4 and 3 positions. They do have the size advantage.
Well, Magnolia trying to match up the speed of NorthPort, no, but it's also taking a lot out of their usual inside baskets. They haven't really gone to Ian Sangalang at the post too often.
And that time, Paul Lee corrals a rebound. Mark Baroka has it here. Calvin Abueva. Mark Baroka against Joshua Monzon. Turnovers have been a problem here for the Magnolia Hotshots, and that is a patented shot from Mark Baroka that falls in and out, and that will go and stay with the Magnolia Hotshots, as William Navarro says. Where was the foul?
Well, that was a big break, no, for Magnolia, but that earlier you also saw the second time that Mark Baroka had a sorry miss. No, earlier was that easy layup that rimmed out, and then this he normally makes that bank shot, no, from that baseline drive, but he missed that time.
Well, let's take a look at some of the numbers here, Coach, because right now the NorthPort Batang Pier already have 11 steals in this game. With that, they have forced 14 turnovers, scored 17 points of turnovers, and had 22 fast break points in this game so far, Coach. So that has been an incredible sequence, incredible number, and honestly the biggest difference in this game so far.
It is the biggest key for them to why they have the lead right now.
And that would be a foul. And it will count for Mark Baroka. I wasn't quite sure if that was going to be on the floor or not. But Fran Yu stuck a hand out. And that means there'll be free throws here for Mark.
And Baroka made sure he made the shot this time. It was from the same spot that he missed earlier. And this time he also gets a bonus free throw.
Baroka gets that to go. In terms of quarter scoring here, Coach, looks like we're all knotted up here. Or rather, it's a 1-point advantage, 10-9 in favor of NorthPort Batang Pier in terms of quarter score. Make it 10-10. Kaka-update naman score. Onubere. Nadi. Going to Fran Yu, attacking Mark Baroka. Gotta go quickly here. William Navarro, back to Fran Yu. Monzon for 4. Would have been good if it goes, but that was far off. 6:52 left here in the third.
Again, Magnolia, when it's a half-court set, they're so good with their defense. They cover all the shooters, no open look that time, and that they forced a 24-second violation, or almost a 24-second violation on NorthPort. So their only problem right now is transition defense. And they have to take care of the ball so that NorthPort doesn't get to run and score in transition.
And looks like a holding foul on Fran Yu, who has had a hard time keeping his name off the referee's lips at the moment. A couple of fouls already in the past few possessions here for Fran Yu.
And NorthPort now has 3 team fouls very early here.
Alfaro, who had a fantastic first half. Now Ian Sanggalang. More deliberate offense here coming from Magnolia, and that's what it means.
And it doesn't have to be Ian Sanggalang really taking the shot, but there's such a great movement team off the post. Well, you saw that when Ian went to the post, Calvin Abueva was there for the cut.
That'll be a charge against Quequete. Great footwork coming from Alfaro to keep in pace with Quequete.
Again, former teammates in college. Quequete also lowered his shoulder there and collided with Pete Alfaro and was called for the offensive foul.
Turnover count there on your screen, 14-13 in favor of the NorthPort Batang Pier. But still, tight ball game here, and Magnolia are starting to flex their muscles. But as I say that, Josh Monzon with the steal. Fran Yu thought about it. Mark Baroka went up in the air. Be more deliberate here. William Navarro unable to find Kate Flores. Mark Baroka to Paul Lee. Lee finding Alfaro in the corner and unable to get that to go as it will fall to the hands of the white shirts.
Well, great pass by Paul Lee that was wide open for Pete Alfaro. I mean, he's got the green light to take that shot.
Here's Joshua Monzon. Brand new. Monzon on the attack. He goes at it by himself. We'll go line and shoot 2. He's been asking for that. He's been trying to force contact inside, coach.
And I think he should really start taking charge here, penetrating more, trying to get contact. That was a great screen provided, by the way, by Will Navarro that allowed him to really get deep into the basket.
Hans Ko has more for us. Hans, take it away.
For Joshua Monzon tonight is a good opportunity for them to come out stronger and put on a good show. Despite their standings, he is well aware that he and his team have the capability to win. And it's a matter of having the mentality to play as hard as they can. And so far, yan ang nakikita natin dito sa third quarter. Dahil ito rin daw talaga ang palagi niyang sinasabi sa teammates niya, to fight and show that they are trying. Gentlemen?
Thank you so much for that report. That was Hans Ko. As Ian Sanggalang also fouls yet again, and William Navarro quick look at the camera. At this point, coach, the NorthPort Batang Pier, after that timeout near the halfway point of this third quarter, started having a hard time dealing with an increased, well, it's a more deliberate Magnolia team. After that last timeout, both defensively and offensively. And Quequete forced into a shot. That was a tough look. William Navarro.
Wow.
What an effort from Will Navarro.
That's back-to-back offensive rebounds for Will Navarro. And, you know, in this game, NorthPort, after a terrible rebounding performance against Converge, right now, they're out-rebounding Magnolia, at least on the offensive boards. Right now, it's 12-8 in terms of rebounding in favor of NorthPort.
NorthPort Batang Pier trying their best here to end a 5-game losing skid. Paulo Taha making his first appearance in this game, as William Navarro aims to get another free throw to go. So far in this game, coach, perfect from the free throw line. William Navarro, 7 of 7. Buti na lang pumasok.
Perfect. Oh.
That would have been my fault. But again, this has been a great bounce-back game in terms of his free throw shooting, talking about William Navarro. Because William Navarro was perfect in the line against Converge, 5 of 5. But then remember, 60% from the field was his shooting in the conference as a whole. So he has been improving, in a remarkable improvement. But let's see how far he can take it to lift up that average, especially with his poor shooting in earlier part of the conference.
He's probably working hard in practice, maybe taking extra shots after practice.
He probably heard us talk about his free throw shooting in the past, and all of a sudden, you know, he had to do something different. And he'll go to the line to shoot too. That was a hard foul. They're going to have to take a look at this. If there may have been contact on the head, he's holding on to that. So that's why they're going to have to look at this to see if it's anything more.
That was again another great shot fake coming from Will Navarro. And he got the contact there from Calvin Abeva. Another opportunity to maintain his perfect free throw shooting so far. But first, the refs will have to review if there's anything excessive in that contact coming from Abueva.
You said it's not me. He could maintain his perfect free throw shooting here. Let's take a look at this again. So William Navarro goes up, gets the fake, and there's the swipe down. It looks like it made a contact with the arms first based on that first angle, but what about this one? They're going to have to take a look at that.
It's very close, possibly an F1.
Well, let's let the referees decide. They are going to take a look at it.
Flagrant foul penalty 1 on number 73.
Coach, balik ang referee yata. Flagrant foul penalty 1 is the call here. We'll have to sit out 3 game minutes here. Talking about Calvin Abueva.
It was also a tough call because the ball was right there. Although it was a little advance from the arm. And it was really a hard foul coming from Calvin. So they probably took that to account too. You know, the force of that impact. And of course, it grazed also part of the face of Will Navarro. 20 points already, 8 boards, 3 steals. What a game. And of course, the perfect free throw shooting. Let's see if it remains perfect.
I held my breath so long for you, Coach.
May isa pa.
May isa pa. Tapos yung regular free throws as well. Because there was a foul on that shot, I believe. And William Navarro is on fire from the free throw line. So the ball will stay rather with the NorthPort Batang Pier.
So he's been perfect since the last game.
Yeah,
against
5 of 5 against Converge.
Wow.
Talk about turning it around. Remember, 60% from the free throw line. That's his average for the entire conference, but he has yet to miss in 2 games.
Nice
Flores.
pass.
William Navarro, brand new, looking for 3, can't get it. Cade Flores, what an effort here. Offensive rebounding has been a good friend here for NorthPort. Paulo Taha, his first contribution's a miss here.
So I believe that's 14 offensive boards already for NorthPort, only 8 for Magnolia. This
Rebounding battle, Coach. They are actually dominating the Magnolia Hotshots here. I believe it's now at 39-28 in terms of rebounding.
A far cry again from their rebounding performance against Converge, where they were down behind by 24 rebounds against that Converge.
Right now, as I wait for the stats to update, Coach, it looks like they have at least 15 offensive rebounds as well. And unfortunately, even though they have those 15 offensive rebounds, they've only converted 6 second chance points in this game so far.
Well, talk about really bouncing back from, like I said, the terrible rebounding numbers they had.
Oh, and what an effort there from Jerome Lastimosa. William Navarro hits the deck as well. It's been physical here today, Coach.
Really physical. And you can see the willingness of both teams to really get this victory today. NorthPort, well, the losses that they've had, 6 straight or 5 straight losses, they were like down by an average of 16 points, something like that. So this is really a great performance for them. It's just a question of being able to sustain this kind of game until the end.
Gio Lalog there on the screen alongside Evanelli. There is talent in this NorthPort lineup, Coach. But
Yes.
right now, the 5 here, Kwekpete, Fran Yu, Paulo Taha, Cade Flores, and Kuntapay. Most likely, at least in this lineup, that man with the ball is going to be their go-to. And he almost gets it, but it'll be 3 free throws here.
And that was just before the shot clock expired. So great shot coming from James Kwekute. He will earn 3 free throws here.
And that was an upsetting moment here for Magnolia fans, considering they needed to defend less than a second, almost. Gets the first of 3. As the free throw numbers have been improving here for NorthPort Batang Pier. Prior to that, they were at 76% from the free throw line. Makes 2 of the 3. As you take a look at that last sequence there, and that time checking him with his body.
A clear contact there coming from Rome De La Rosa.
Quequete drains all 3. All of a sudden, it has been NorthPort in the ascendancy here. 7-point lead for the Batang Pier against the Magnolia Hotshots. But we all know that can change quickly. 7-0 run here for NorthPort. A lot of it coming from the free throw line. Ball popping around here. As Rome De La Rosa goes on the attack, and that's a block from Paulo Taha. He tosses it out. It hit Paul Lee, but they keep going. Kate Flores to Quequete. He'll pull up for 3, and he'll get it!
Again, getting a defensive stop and converting it into transition basket. Of course, that was a big shot coming from the corner, a 3-point shot from James Quequete.
Quequete getting a big triple here for the NorthPort Batang Pier. The momentum firmly in their hands, and they lead by 10 against Magnolia with 3:16 left in the third. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
How much do we love Pinoy sports? As a fan, we don't just watch the games.
The season for me, and I just owe it all to the work I put in.
We watch every part, every angle, every name. We talk about the plays, talk about it for days. We witness the big events, the thrilling moments, and relive the best seconds. We cherish the fear.
Kayo sa PBA Philippine Cup. Different, new venue, new environment, and a lot of PBA fans. This was how James Quequete described his first ever out-of-town game. Of course, James is excited to come out and play for the fans, and more than this, get back to the winning column. But in order to do so, James shared rebounding will be one of the keys. He said though they have the height disadvantage, they want to make sure to put extra effort and make up for it. And so far, that is exactly what we are seeing from him and his teammates. Gentlemen?
Thank you so much. That was Hans with that report. 10-0 run here for NorthPort Batang Pier. And just to emphasize his point, it is a plus 11 advantage for the NorthPort Batang Pier on the rebounding column, and a plus 7 advantage in terms of offensive rebounding, coach. And that has been one of the surprise stats here, considering size-wise, the Magnolia Hotshots should have the advantage in this department.
Well, I'm sure they put extra emphasis on rebounding. No, after that bad performance against Converge, they probably worked some drills, and it's showing in this game. They're dominating the rebounding department.
Quequete unable to get that to go. He had 6 points so far in this third quarter. He was looking for 9 then. Rome De La Rosa swing that around to Paul Lee. Lee kicking that inside, and that will be a foul right before the shot. Or right before any shot attempt, rather. So that will be a foul on the floor. NorthPort will have to defend an inbound.
They're gonna check something, no, after that foul. But we also gotta give credit to the zone defense of NorthPort. It has really worked wonders for them in this game. They're giving Magnolia a lot of problems offensively because of that, what seems like a 3-2 zone that changes, no, wherever the ball goes. So it's been really effective. They start off as a zone defense, 2-2-1 probably, and ending up in a 3-2. But this was the, looks like, possible second motion maybe from Kate Flores.
So it'll just be a foul of Quequete and a technical foul on Kate Flores for second motion. Coach, pwede kang mag-referee.
Pwede na.
And NorthPort will call for time here with 2:24 left here in the third quarter. It's been their quarter so far. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
How much do we love Pinoy sports? As a fan, we don't just watch the games.
The season for me, and I just owe it all to the work I put in.
We watch every part, every angle, every name. We talk about the plays. Talk about it for days. We witness the big events, the thrilling moments, and relive the best seconds. We cherish the fears, the tears, at syempre, the cheers. How much do we love Pinoy sport?
Nah, we got to play better. We got to play harder. We can't give up at the end of the games or on possessions. We got to be the team that goes out there and play harder than the other team. Last conference we had the luxury of having, one of the best imports in the league, and we had the best player of the conference. So that helped. But now, without those guys, we got to kind of fill in the gaps and play as hard as we can and give ourselves a chance.
Well, not just talking about the effort, they are also showing us the stats to back all that up. As we take a look at some of the numbers here that they have produced, they are leading in terms of assists, 19-17. They're leading in terms of steals, 12-7. And they even lead the count in terms of points of turnovers by 2, 17-15. And fast break points by a whopping 25-1. Coach, they have been playing their game, and they have been enjoying it.
That is true. And what's surprising to me is how Magnolia is not able to address the transition of NorthPort. We all know that NorthPort thrives in the running game, and Magnolia should be prepared for that, but they are unable to address that, especially that this zone is really working well for NorthPort.
And speaking of the running game here, we're running the other way as Zave Lucero will get the finish. Well, Coach, that time, they almost got away with allowing NorthPort to run again. Gio Lalon just missing that lay-in, and instead they went the other way and gave them a dose of their own medicine. We go to the other side, Kwekete. Now Gio Halalon. Halalon with Lastimosa right in front of him. Pick from William Navarro. Gio Halalon saying that that's going to be a travel. Halalon may have felt that there was a touch there, maybe a block, and he got it back. But either way, referees disagree. And there, Coach Bonitan echoing that same point. And a chance here for Magnolia to catch up even more. Here's Paul Lee. Lee swings that around to Rome De La Rosa. Cade Flores right in front of him. Xavier Lucero against Kwekete, and that is going to be a hack. And 2 free throws coming right up, I believe, for Xavier Lucero.
Yeah, James used his hand to defend Xavier Lucero that time and got the contact. So now NorthPort already with 4 team fouls.
Well, this has been an important sequence here for the Magnolia Hotshots because NorthPort were leading by double digits just a while ago, but then Magnolia have battled their way back into this one.
Yes, they're back in the game, making some stops and scoring on their own fast break point earlier. So this is a great development for Magnolia. Going into the 4th quarter, you don't want to be behind by double digits.
And Gio Halalon can't get the 3 ball to go. De La Rosa with the rebound. A chance here to come even closer. A 4 will tie it. A 3 will make it a 1-point game. Lastimosa. Jonicio has to pick up Cade Flores, and he will go line to shoot 2. And good effort there for Cade, but that time Jonicio did the right thing, attacking that closeout.
So again, a little bit of discipline is needed. That would have been great defense if not for that bump. So being over aggressive was Cade Flores that time, and now you award 2 free throws to Jonicio.
Rosario Dionisio, he's one of the other guys here for the Magnolia Hotshots coach. If he gets going offensively, especially from shooting from beyond the arc, he's such a big problem.
He is, and apart from that, he's also a great rebounder and defensive player.
Gets 2 free throws to go. And all of a sudden, we are practically back to where we started. It's 20 points each so far with an 8-0 run here for Magnolia in the quarter. Onobere barreling his way through, but save Rosero. What a stop.
Not a good idea right there. That's an easy block for Zave. A little bit of maybe 1 or 2 extra passes would have given them an open shot.
Another look at that, and the friendly bounce there. Onobere could not avoid that. Here's Lastimosa. Lastimosa trying to get free of Evanelli. And that's another turnover here. Exactly where NorthPort thrives. And Monzon misses. But that will be 2 free throws here.
A good hard drive from Monzon. Getting that contact from Dionisio. So again, when NorthPort gets that ball, you're not going to stop them. They're just going to go all the way to try to score on a layup. Especially when this guy has the ball.
That's the first of 2. Joshua Monzon. Paulo Taha checks in for Evanetti for defensive purposes. And trying to stop Magnolia from getting a stab in. Remember, it was a double-digit lead for NorthPort just a while ago. And right now, they're only winning this quarter by the 2 points. Paul Lee swings that around. Xavier Lucero wants 3, and he'll get it.
Big shot to beat the buzzer from Zave.
And all of a sudden, it's a 1-point game going into the 4th quarter. Never count Magnolia out. Let's take a look at that again. Paul Lee finding Zave. And Xavier Lucero with a big triple to make it a 1-point game. And buckle up, guys. Going into the 4th, it's a big one. We'll be right back.
How much do we love Pinoy sports? As a fan, we don't just watch the games.
The season for me, and I just owe it all to the work I put in.
We watch every part, every angle, every name. We talk about the plays. Talk about it for days. We witness the big events. The thrilling moments.
Let's take a look at the game summary here, where fast break points have been one of the reasons why NorthPort are so competitive in this game. 27-6 in favor of the Batang Pier. They have run, they have gunned, they at parts of the game have controlled the tempo, and that is the reason why we have that number in front of you here today. Now, of course, in terms of the perimeter points, it is a bit of a different story here because it's a plus one advantage for the Magnolia Chicken Timplados Hotshots. They have been scoring the ball well from the perimeter, not necessarily from beyond the arc, as they are only shooting 26.7% beyond the 3-point line, but beyond the 4-point line, they're at 50%. Now let's take a look at William Navarro. 9 rebounds, 22 points, 3 steals, and perfect from the free throw line. Since the last game against the Converge Viper Xers, he is 15 of 15 from the free throw line, putting all the numbers to shame because going into this game, he was a 60% free throw shooter. That has changed here today, but it is still a 1-point ball game. Paulo De Rosario alongside Jude Roque calling this game for you. It is Hans Go on the sidelines in Candon City. Coach, let's take a look at what needs to be done here for NorthPort Batang Pier. They led a 10-point lead in the 3rd quarter, shrink to just this 1 point here going into the 4th quarter. What do they need to do to stop a Magnolia team who was in the ascendancy and who won that last quarter by 1 point?
Well, they need to continue their aggressive defense and mix it up like they did with the zone and with the man zone, and try to continue getting that good space to score in transition, but to take care of the ball more, because now is the fourth quarter. This is where Magnolia really clamps down on defense, so they gotta be smart. Oh, what a big shot.
That was a 4-pointer from Evanelli, and it looks like there was a landing spot foul, and he's not happy with Jerome Lastimosa, rather. Well, let's take a look at that again. We didn't have the best angle, Coach, because frankly, I only knew it was a 4-pointer because of the referee holding up the right symbol. We didn't see the foot on the line ourselves, but we also did not see what could have been a landing spot violation.
Well, that's what they're checking right now. The PBA, they have different angles to look at. But judging from the way Evanelli reacted, there could be a landing spot. Let's see.
So far, so good here. And almost stepped out of bounds. And yeah, so we're going to have to take a look at that. And so they're confirming the 4-point shot made here for Evanelli. And it's a landing spot violation against Jerome Lastimosa. He'll have to sit up for 5 minutes now, being the second player from Magnolia with a flagrant foul penalty 1.
And this is really huge, no? After a 4-point shot and now a free throw and ball possession for NorthPort. So that's such a big possession for NorthPort.
Wow, how the game has turned, Coach. But again, still so early. This is just the first 35 seconds of the fourth quarter.
Now, we must also mention that NorthPort needs this win more than Magnolia, because remember, it's a single round elimination and only 8 teams out of the 12 will make it to the next level, and that's the quarterfinal. So right now, with only 1 win to show, NorthPort needs to start getting those W's.
They need to start getting it, and so far the effort has been counting. That could have been a backbreaker of back-to-back 4-point plays, but it wasn't to be here for NorthPort.
That was close because it was an open shot for Nelly. Great cut, great play from Baroka to Peter Alfaro right there.
Peter Alfaro, coach, has had a great game here so far. Here's Joshua Munzon. And another foul here on Alfaro. You gotta watch out for the foul counts here. We did reference it a while ago, Coach. These two teams are actually the worst in terms of giving fouls. And if it becomes a free throw shooting contest, considering how perfect William Navarro has been from the free throw line, could really help them out here.
2 team fouls already for Magnolia very early in this last period.
William Navarro wants 3, can't get it. And here is Mark Baroka. Mark Baroka on the attack, gets free of everyone, and sails in for an easy 2.
Well, that was wide open for Mark. Nobody really tried to close in on that drive after he gets past Evan Nelly.
Here's William Navarro bullying Mark Baroka, sitting on Mubere, gets a 2 inside.
Now that time it's a successful post action for NorthPort as William is able to find Sydney.
And that time, Zabe Lucero able to get the finish he wanted.
Magnolia now starting to go for the higher percentage shots. They're going for penetrations. They're trying to get that ball inside the paint more. Well, actually, both teams not shooting well from downtown. Magnolia is...
And of course, we'll get back to you on that, Coach, as we turn it over to Hans.
The Magnolia Chicken Templados Hotshots are not letting the Batang Pier pull away. And coming to the fourth, the concern has been the same. Effort. Give more effort for the last quarter. And on top of this, have more ball movement. The assist department is also something the team is looking to improve after that last game. So let's see how this will work for them. Gentlemen?
Thanks so much for that, Porto's hand. Of course, the ball movement not quite on par here to the regular standard. Here's Kwekute on the attack. Meaning William Navarro, who attacks, goes up a lot swat from Master Nisho. Again, we talked about his length a while ago, and that has been a factor in that particular play. They go to the corner, save Rosero, wide open for three. Teed it up, can't finish it. 1 point lead still for NorthPort. Evanelli. Goes to the corner, Kwekute looking for three, but couldn't get it. William Navarro. Oh! And that time, Mark Baroka quickest to the ball. Little bump. And that will go and stay with the Magnolia Hotshots as Onmobere was deemed to have blocked without getting enough of Mark Baroka.
I thought there was contact there, but the referees let it go. Although Magnolia will retain possession.
There's an official suspension of play.
There's a suspension of play here. As I believe they're going to have to take a look at something. And that is Peter Faro on the ground here. Not quite sure what happened, but he is winded.
So decision, Paul Lee for Peter Alfaro.
Paul Lee will come in for Peter Alfaro.
King Flores for City Manuel Bebe, Fred Yu for Evanelli.
And he has to be helped up here. And is able to walk on his own power. Fran Yu checking in on Alfaro. Looks like he may have gotten hit on the right side on his temple. I'm gonna see if we can get an update on that later on, but then hopefully he's okay. He's played a great game here, especially in that first half. Was actually the leading scorer of Magnolia in the first half. Here's Paul Lee. Dave Lucero to Mark Baroka. Paul Lee has it again. Fran Yu trying to stay in front of Mark Baroka. Dave Lucero off the feed from Baroka. And what a rebound there from William Navarro. 1 point lead still for NorthPort Batang Pier. Fran Yu calling the shots. Kwekute. Back to you. And good hands there coming from Zave Lucero, and Zave Lucero will top it off with a finish.
Beautiful drive by Zave and a great pass coming from Calvin Abueva. Good spacing by the Magnolia team, and now they're back in the driver's seat.
You were saying, Coach?
Well, quick answer coming from Joshua Monzon, and that was a three-point shot.
85-83 in favor of NorthPort Batang Pier, as Joshua Monzon made sure that Magnolia couldn't enjoy that lead for any longer. Mark Baroka, quarterback here, gets Fran Yu on the ground and finishes off the glass.
And he has mastered that bank shot from that spot.
Joshua Monzon pulls up for three again. That time missed everything.
A bad shot that time. Again, the discipline will come to play here.
Oh, Paul Lee, that's a four. Oh my goodness, Paul Lee, yet again.
And if there's one player in the PBA that you will allow to take those transition three-point shots, it has to be Paul Lee.
Correction, Coach. Transition four coming in for Paul Lee. Let's take a look at that again. Mark Baroka with a forward pass. All the time in the world, that's a layup for Paul, given that amount of daylight. 89-85 to count. 7:32 left here in the fourth. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
How much do we love Pinoy sports? As a fan, we don't just watch the games.
The season for me, and I just owe it all to the work I put in.
We watch every part, every angle, every name. We talk about the plays, talk about it for days. We witness the big events, the thrilling moments, and relive the best seconds. We cherish the fears, the tears.
Take a look at Paul Lee. He scored 27 points against the Manalco Bulls, went 4 of 5 from 4-point arc. And of course, against Rain or Shine, unfortunately for him, only had 7 points and did not even go to the line once. But this is what we were talking about, Coach. Paul Lee, even though he has the potential to become, honestly, the lethal weapon yet again from time to time, there have been nights wherein he has underwhelmed in terms of scoring, and that consistency is what he's looking for again.
I think he has already accepted his role as more of a backup scorer now for Magnolia. But he's still capable of scoring really high. He doesn't take too many shots, but he's pretty accurate.
Here is Joshua Munzon. He sells for a long 2. That is no good. William Navarro.
Oh,
what an effort for William. And William, tell me what you need to do to get this win, because he's trying to do everything, Coach.
He's been the most prolific player for NorthPort in this game, especially with those offensive rebounds. His timing is really spectacular, and he has really worked hard. Most of his points are coming from the inside out of those second chance baskets.
24 points, 12 rebounds, 3 steals, and 8 offensive rebounds in that span, Coach. What a game so far for William Navarro. And it'll be so important, or it'll at least feel so good to get a win alongside this stat line.
And because of Will, they're right in the game. They're really competing with Magnolia, and there's a lot of time here. So they just need to really get back their aggressive defense and make stops.
And that time, Joshua Munzon trying to do the same thing, but Calvin Abueva, like a thief in the night, picking the pocket of Joshua Munzon and getting a 2. 92-88, still to count here. Gio Halalon. Joshua Munzon now back to Halalon. Asking for a pick here, he'll get it. Kate Flores working against Calvin Abueva. That time, Calvin Abueva doing just enough.
So tough to score inside against that interior defense of Magnolia.
Here's Paul Lee. Mark Baroka. Back to Paul. Mark Baroka again. Calvin Abueva on the attack. Paul Lee looking for another 4. Oh, yeah, he got it! Paul Lee dialed in from beyond not 1, but 2 marks today.
Wow, Magnolia really scoring well from the 4 points. That's almost 60% shooting from the 4-point line.
They are 5 of 8 from beyond 4-point land, Coach. You contrast that with what they're shooting from 3-point land. They are 4 of 16.
Sama. Oh. 25%.
At this point, they should just take 4-point shots compared to 3-pointers. Considering these, take a look at that. 5 of 8 from 4-point land.
So that's 2 from Alfaro, 2 from Lee. Who got the other one?
The other 4-pointers were courtesy. Jerome Lastimosa also has a 4-pointer.
Yes, correct.
5.6 seconds on the shot clock.
It has been one of those days here for the Magnolia Hotshots. And here it is, almost a turnover, and finally completed. Paul Lee, left by his lonesome, gets a 2. 10 points in a quarter by himself. Paul Lee, 2 4-pointers in that fast break.
And that's the Magnolia team that we know defensively. And because we're in the payoff period, this is where they really shine the most.
Gio Halalon, offensive foul off the reverse.
All players, please proceed to the shaded area in front of your respective benches.
So they're going to take a look at this again, but then it has been a resurgent Magnolia side here. Really not necessarily their defense that has been their calling card here in this game in particular. Their goal was to limit NorthPort to only 90 points in this game. They will comfortably reach that with 5 minutes left to play here. Talking about the NorthPort Batang Pier. But their offense here in the fourth quarter hyper power by Paul Lee has made such a big difference. Let's take a look at where the foul is, and there it is. Zave Lucero smacked as Gio Halalon drove in.
Well, that was very clear in that replay that he extended his arm
and made contact with the jaw. Again, there's a reason why you wear mouth guard sometimes, coach.
Wow, possible F2,
especially if it's deemed intentional as well. Would you consider that a basketball move? Normally you do put your arm up, but then given how it looks like, we'll let the referees decide, coach.
It looked to me like Zave wasn't even close.
So it'll be a flagrant foul penalty 1 on Gio Halalon. So 3 minutes on the bench here for Gio Halalon. 3 game minutes, so he'll be able to check in the last 2-minute count. A lot of flagrant ones here in this game. 2 from Magnolia, 1 from NorthPort.
It's been really physical. Both teams really played aggressive. A lot of contacts. Of course, it's a very important game for both squads. Magnolia wanting to bounce back from that only loss that they suffered so far in this conference. And on the other hand, NorthPort badly needs to address their skid after losing 5 straight games. So this is how important this game is for both squads.
97-88. NorthPort were leading by 10 points in the 3rd quarter, but were unable to hold off resurgent Magnolia team who went on a run of their own. I believe it was 8-0 at one point towards the tail end of that 3rd quarter before a 3-pointer by Zave Lucero to put the cherry on top of what was a great fight back here from the Magnolia Hotshots. Zave Lucero missed the first of 2.
And they made that run after they switched to a zone defense, a 2-3 zone that caught NorthPort off guard. And that resulted, to some fast break points for Magnolia. And now this puts a lot of pressure on NorthPort because we only have about 5 minutes left in the game. As you saw the quarter scoring on the board, so it puts a lot of pressure being behind 10 points for NorthPort with only less than 5 minutes left.
Mark Baroka. Oh, he lifted that up and in.
And this is now the biggest lead in the game. 12 points for Magnolia.
William Navarro gets a bunch of blue shirts to jump. And the push shot, too strong for Bulanadi. But he gets his own miss, and that'll be a foul from the blue shirts.
But the offensive rebounding continues to favor NorthPort. That's been one of their most impressive departments in this game. Probably second to their fast break game.
Evanelli. Sidney Onbubere with the pick. Getting it saved. Lucero, that's a tough finish. Onbubere, coach, has had a good game here. 19 points here today. Scoring in a variety of ways. Has 1 4-pointer. He is 4 of 5 from the 2-point line. And shooting 6 of 9 from the field.
And he's very gutsy, going up against the taller Zave Lucero that time.
That is Jonisho joining in on the party, improving the 3-point shooting here of the Magnolia Hotshots, who are now up by 13 all of a sudden, but Munzon couldn't get 3 back.
And it's not a good time for NorthPort to start missing their shots.
It has been an incredible second half here for the Magnolia Hotshots, coach. 20-5 run in favor of Magnolia. Here's Zave Lucero off the drive, no good. Joshua Munzon able to save that one. Paul Lee right in front of him. Joshua Munzon, he's up 3, gets it to go. Important basket here for NorthPort.
And that's bad defense on the part of Paul Lee. Joshua is the most dangerous offensive player on the floor for NorthPort. He's got to do a better job defensively.
Paul Lee, full court press coming from the NorthPort Batang Pier. Mark Baroka able to get across the timeline, the halfway point. Paul Lee goes to the corner. And that's a good dribble. That is Janisha, back-to-back threes.
Unselfish play for Magnolia, especially from Paul Lee, who had a 4-point shot wide open, but he opted for that extra pass, and Janisha did not disappoint him.
Went straight to Paul Lee to say thank you for that, as Paul Lee attracted 2 white shirts, swung it open to the open corner. 106, 93, 239, and Magnolia are in the driver's seat.
How much do we love Pinoy sports? As a fan, we don't just watch the games.
The season for me, and I just owe it all to the work I put in.
We watch every part, every angle, every name. We talk about the plays. Talk about it for days. We witness the big events, the thrilling moments, and
Let's take a look at the games tomorrow as we go back to Manila. Phil Sports Arena, Blackwater Bossing taking up the challenge of taking on the San Miguel Beermen. But what about the red-hot NX Road Warriors against a Meralco Bolts team that could be very stubborn? That could be an electric second game. All of that happening at the Phil Sports Arena. Hope to see you there. But of course, we're still going out of town on June 7th. We'll be at the Cagayan de Oro City International Convention Center for Rain or Shine against San Miguel. CDO ticket outlets are on the screen, including ticket prices as well. Can't wait to see you in CDO. And of course, if you can't make it there, catch us on RPTV, PBA Rush, and on the Pilipinas Live app and website. Thank you so much for joining us here. I'm Paolo De Rosario alongside Coach Jude Roque. It is Magnolia up against NorthPort 106-93 in what has been an explosive quarter for Magnolia. 32-18 quarter scoring in favor of the Hotshots, Coach.
And this is the time that NorthPort needs to make hurried shots. No, this is the time to go berserk because they don't have a lot of time now in the game and they have to catch a 13-point deficit.
Well, at that point, that does not help. There was 3-second shot clock, 3-second violation rather, on Sidney Onmobere in that last possession. And Magnolia don't need to rush things here, Coach. But then you take a look at the defensive woes that Magnolia has had. They are known as a defensive team. Unfortunately, it hasn't really come to pass here, even in this game, considering the goal was to limit NorthPort to only 90 points. There, they've gone beyond that, unfortunately, for the Magnolia Hotshots. What is it about the last 2 matches here for Magnolia where they allowed Rain or Shine to go berserk from beyond the arc? And of course, even here, NorthPort had that incredible third and second quarter that really put them in charge before a late surge, great shooting from Paul Lee that happened in the third quarter.
Well, against Rain or Shine, like you said, Rain or Shine really shot the daylights out of the Coliseum with those 3-point baskets. But in this game, it's really the fast break points of NorthPort that Magnolia was not able to limit. Imagine they have 27 fast break points in this game. So that's been the bulk of the scoring of NorthPort.
As Rome De La Rosa couldn't add on to 3-point count. But what about Aris Janisha, Coach? Really quiet in the first 3 quarters, but a couple of big 3-pointers here to fourth to really close the door here on NorthPort.
Those were 2 really big shots that really broke the back of NorthPort because all of a sudden they have a commanding lead, no?
106-93. They will have to review this one because they just under the last 2-minute mark. And the NorthPort Batang Pier, Coach, back to the drawing board. They got off to a winning start in conference, but then looks like they are up to 6 losses here this conference. Back to back. Unfortunately, as we try and go deeper into this. What has gone wrong here for Northport, apart from the loss of Arvin Tolentino as a leading scorer?
Well, obviously, it's not easy to replace an Arvin Tolentino. I mean, he's been easily he can provide like 20 points a game, and now they need to get that number from somebody else, and it's just been a struggle. Add to the fact that they're not a very big team, so they lack the big men to battle against teams like Magnolia, like San Miguel. So that's another problem for them. And now they're even more into heavy pressure, no, with this impending loss. And Magnolia has really played a methodical game in this fourth quarter.
Methodical game for sure. Coach William Navarro gets an easy 2 here. Make the score a bit more respectable here. Again, you take a look at the score that we see here, 106-97. And to be completely frank, it didn't seem like that would be the case, as emotions are flaring here between Onmubere and Aris Dionisio. Onmubere had to be pulled back. Not quite sure what happened there. Happened right in front of the bench of Magnolia, by the way. You saw Rafi Rivas controlling the bench, as a veteran should, making sure emotions don't spill over.
It's been really an intense game from the very start.
Okay, 3 flagrant foul penalty ones in this game. 2 for Magnolia, 1 for Northport.
Now, I'd like to mention though, Paolo, that a big bounce back also for Magnolia, because against Rain or Shine, they only had a total of 11 assists the entire game. In this game, they have 27 assists. So what a great bounce back, no, from a very limited assist against Rain or Shine.
Yeah, you know, you take a look at that game against Rain or Shine, Coach. You're absolutely right. They only had 11 assists. But then they would also argue you also have to make the shots to make the assist count anyway. They also shot the ball poorly. They were at 41% in that game. A bit better here, 46.2%. But then what is amazing from the number, Coach, is that they are 62.5% from 4-point land, and they have shot 5 of 8 from 4.
It has to be a record of sorts.
Yeah, I want to check, like, the most amount of fours in a game.
Yeah, considering that they had several attempts.
So right now, 20 points from the 4-point land for the Magnolia Hotshots. It is a game changer here. As Sidney Onmubere still awaiting judgment of the referees. Again, the emotions were high. Sidney's the type of guy to wear his emotions on his sleeve. He is not afraid to fight back, to show that he will not be bullied. And here's Sidney Onmubere. And there's a little bump there on Zave Lucero. And then here's Aris Dionisio.
Foul on number 1, Sidney Onmubere. That's the first team foul of the Batang Pier.
So it's just a foul because the bump on Zave Lucero wasn't that intense, but then he took offense with how Aris Dionisio, or at least something that Aris Dionisio said. But Coach, from a coaching standpoint here, it feels like Aris Dionisio was standing up for Zave Lucero, who has been on the receiving end of some very physical plays in the last few games, and felt like he was protecting a teammate there.
So was a technical called on Aris? Probably, no,
Yeah.
because he confronted Sidney.
So Eriobo will check in for Aris Dionisio. And looks like, all right, so we're gonna get the 5 here all set up. So they brought out Aris Dionisio, then brought him back in for Zave Lucero. So Aris Dionisio is still there, and Jen Mendoza will check in as well, as we are trying to wrap this up with 29.5 seconds left in the Candon City Arena in the Ilocos Sur. Once again, thank you so much to the LGU and the people from Candon City for being such great hosts yet again for the PBA. We always love coming back there. I believe it's the 3rd time the PBA has been Candon City, and of course a great venue for sports. with the PVL also having had games there as well. Basketball, volleyball, there's a reason why we're always back there.
And the people of Candon were treated to a great game today. You know, regardless of this impending 9-point victory for Magnolia. It has been really action-packed from the very beginning. It was a great fight displayed by NorthPort. And probably something they can build on in their remaining games.
Well, at the end of the ball game, it is a Magnolia who will take away the win and finally bounce back from their sole loss of conference so far. They're now up to 7 wins in the conference after losing to Rain or Shine last time around. And unfortunately for NorthPort, another loss here. The skid continues for them, 106-97. The final score in Magnolia City Arena in Ilocos Sur. And we'll have more for you when we return, or rather hold on to the air here. Coach, the Magnolia Hotshots in particular, that second half, such a great performance for them. Not only did they outscore NorthPort by 10 points in that fourth quarter, overall they combined for 55 points in the second half alone.
I think in the second half, it was more of their offense that was much better than the first half. Defensively, they were quite consistent, except, of course, in transition.
Let's take a look at the games tomorrow, Coach. Again, we're going back to Manila to the Phil Sports Arena. Blackwater Bossy taking on the San Miguel Beermen, and the hottest team in the league, the NX Road Warriors, will try to hold their own against the Meralco Bolts. Don't go away. We'll be right back with some more analysis when we return.
Umangat pa ang mga bida sa gilas ng ningas, perlas ang silangan, lalong umangas, lalong tumalas ang pinuhunang katas ng pangarap. Lagpas sa lapaap, abante, diskarte, di bale, walang pake sa...
How much do we love Pinoy sports? As a fan, we don't just watch the games.
The season for me, and I just owe it all to the work I put in.
We watch every part, every angle, every name. We talk about the plays. Talk about it for days. We witness the big events, the thrilling moments, and relive the best seconds. We cherish the fears, the tears, at syempre, the cheers. How much do we love Pinoy sports? With all our heart, all-out passion. All the time. All with Pilipinas Live. Ang app natin para sa sports natin.
Get access and watch your favorite sporting events on Pilipinas Live with these easy steps. Download via Google Play or App Store. Once downloaded, enter a valid email address. Verify the OTP sent to your email address. Note that the OTP is valid for 5 minutes and for one-time use only. If no OTP is received, you may click on the Resend OTP button. Once successful, create and enter your password. Accept the terms and conditions to complete your registration. You can now log on to Pilipinas Live. Subscribe now for only 149 pesos monthly.
You know what I love about Filipinas Live?
Volleyball. Watch your favorite volleyball leagues such as Spikers Turf, Premier Volleyball League, and the UAAP. All in one app. You can watch all these games and more live and on your preferred device. Download Pilipinas Live today from the App Store or Google Play Store and register for free.
How much do we love Pinoy sports? As a fan, we don't just watch the games.
The season for me, and I just owe it all to the work I put in.
We watch every part, every angle, every name. We talk about the plays. Talk about it for days. We witness the big events, the thrilling moments, and relive the best seconds. We cherish the fears, the tears, at syempre, the cheers. How much do we love Pinoy sports? With all our heart, all-out passion. All the time. All with Pilipinas Live. Ang app natin para sa sports natin.
Get access and watch your favorite sporting events on Pilipinas Live with these easy steps. Download via Google Play or App Store. Once downloaded, enter a valid email address. Verify the OTP sent to your email address. Note that the OTP is valid for 5 minutes and for one-time use only. If no OTP is received, you may click on the Resend OTP button. Once successful, create and enter your password. Accept the terms and conditions to complete your registration. You can now log on to Pilipinas Live. Subscribe now for only 149 pesos monthly.
You know what I love about Pilipinas Live?
Volleyball. Watch your favorite volleyball leagues such as Spikers Turf, Premier Volleyball League, and the UAAP. All in one app. You can watch all these games and more live and on your preferred device. Download Pilipinas Live today from the App Store or Google Play Store and register for free.
How much do we love Pinoy sports? As a fan, we don't just watch the games.
The season for me, and I just owe it all to the work I put in.
We watch every part, every angle, every name. We talk about the plays. Talk about it for days. We witness the big events, the thrilling moments, and relive the best seconds. We cherish the fears, the tears, at syempre, the cheers. How much do we love Pinoy sports? With all our heart, all-out passion. All the time. All with Pilipinas Live. Ang app natin para sa sports natin.
Get access and watch your favorite sporting events on Pilipinas Live with these easy steps. Download via Google Play or App Store. Once downloaded, enter a valid email address. Verify the OTP sent to your email address. Note that the OTP is valid for 5 minutes and for one-time use only. If no OTP is received, you may click on the Resend OTP button. Once successful, create and enter your password. Accept the terms and conditions to complete your registration. You can now log on to Pilipinas Live. Subscribe now for only 149 pesos monthly.
follow the best player of the game. It's none other than Paul Lee, who, to be honest, Coach, surprised us a bit here because it felt like he was a bit quiet for majority of the game. Played around 31 minutes, but really made his noise in that fourth quarter.
Yes, a quiet 16 points for him, but like you said, no 10 in that fourth quarter. Also contributed in rebounding and assists, and a great plus-minus for Paul Lee.
And of course, it's reignite in Candon, and it was reignition for the Magnolia Chicken Templados Hotshots after bouncing back from their first loss in conference against the Rain or Shine Lasta Painters by taking on the long-suffering NorthPort Batang Pier, who won their first game of the conference but has yet to register a win since then. Let's zoom into that first quarter, where in the first quarter, Jos Munzon pulling up for three, not getting it, but then William Navarro, who had a great game here today, unfortunately will match a impressive stat line of 27 points, 13 rebounds, 4 steals, and 3 assists with a loss here, unfortunately for him, Coach, as Mark Baroca scored on the other end.
Yes, Will Navarro really came out to play from the get-go. He was very aggressive, grabbing a lot of rebounds, scoring underneath the basket, and they basically controlled the first quarter.
And over in the second quarter, this was one of the better performances here from the NorthPort Batang Pier, but we started off with Ian Sanggalang, who really didn't play as much as we thought he would, considering the size advantage here. Gio Halalo sailing in for a 2-pointer to go. It was a 26-19 quarter in favor of NorthPort Batang Pier.
Well, we saw a lot of those fast break points from NorthPort. They're really fantastic from the 4 points, and also shots like that coming from Sydney Onuobero, which is why they were at par with Magnolia in the first half.
Well, that's not the third overtime. This is third quarter. Just so you know, hindi pa tayo ng triple overtime ngayon. As we take a look at this, the drive inside, William Navarro able to finish through traffic. You know, we have to credit William Navarro because he was criticized for his free throw shooting as well. But he was able to have another perfect night on the free throw line, 11 of 11, as the NorthPort Batang Pier kept on fighting, and Kwekwe with a big basket there. But take a look at this. Zabe Lucero to beat the buzzer to make it a 1-point lead, and at that time you felt the pendulum swing towards Magnolia.
That was such a big shot for Zabe Lucero because it really doused cold water on the offense of NorthPort.
In the fourth quarter, this is when Paul Lee took over. Here he is, Calvin Abueva, finding Paul Lee, and Paul Lee from way beyond not one but 2 arcs. Big 4-pointer for Paul.
And this was really where he shone brightest for Magnolia. This is where Magnolia started to pull away in the game. The back-to-back force from Paul Lee, and then drives by Mark Baroca.
The veterans came out to play here. Here's Mark Baroca again, this time finding Zabe Lucero. Paul Lee playing provider to Aris Jonicio, who hit 2 big triples in this fourth quarter as well.
Yes, excellent play right there. Jonicio also was stellar in that fourth quarter.
106-97 in favor of Magnolia as they take that business trip win in Candon City in Ilocos Sur. Thank you so much for joining us here on Pilipinas Live and on PBA Rush. And Paul De Rosario, joined by Coach Jude Roque. It was Hans Go on the sidelines, and we will see you tomorrow for more PBA action. And we'll see you then.